Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand on the trigger. The devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand. Call
I accidentally clicked mute instead of unmute. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. And thank you so much for taking the time to join us this evening. You are watching DLD After Dark. It's your boy Dark. We do a live show Tuesdays, Thursdays, and every other Saturday. And we're going to be changing the schedule up. Don't worry. We're still going to continue going live every Tuesday, Thursday, and every other Saturday. But we're going to be doing some days on the Green Place and keeping our Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday schedule here. So we're going to be making some changes, but all good changes, only increasing, never decreasing, always all good stuff. But I had this thought. Okay, now if you're here for the first time ever, if you searched on the Googles or the shoe tubes, I'm thinking of purchasing my first handgun, and what things should I consider? Do me a favor, and honestly, do yourself a favor. There is so much knowledge here and things that you should actually, pick out and listen for. Um, this first few minutes is not for you, but stick around because you're going to learn every single thing that you could possibly want to learn from decades and decades and decades of combined experience between the panel members tonight. But here's what I thought of. Think back, okay? Think back to that moment when you first were like, you know what? I'm choosing to get a handgun, right? And you choose to get a handgun for whatever reason, or you choose to get a rifle, or whatever your first firearm purchase is. And it brings you into this world that you barely know or recognize, and you don't know all the terms and nomenclature and acronyms and all this crazy stuff. And it is literally a whole new world. I'm talking like Jasmine and Aladdin, you know what I'm saying? And a whole new, don't you dare close your eyes. That part always creeps me up. Anyway, so sorry. Anyway, so what I'm saying is it brought you into a whole new world. Okay. Now, that world of purchasing a firearm at the very, very beginning brought you into the world of multiple firearms and carrying firearms, and then holsters and gun belts and accessories, and then long guns and shotguns and all the stuff that comes after that. And then, my friends, it brought you into the world of where we are today, the way we think today. So one day this may be played in court, but for just exclusively the purpose of bringing newbies over to our community to radicalize them to think normally. Is that weird to say? Like, the world looks at it as you being radicalized. Really, it's just you believing in things like God and the founding documents of our country. But that's what we're going to talk about. And the way that we bring these people over is by singing to the newbies. So because I want to do this in a a few different ways to some newbies, I need you guys, right? I need my people in the community being here to continue having the dialogue in the chat, right? So I need to retain you guys in these kinds of streams so you guys can talk to the people that are over here. You know what I'm saying? So we can turn them into crazy MVE radicals that believe in, things like God, guns, families, and being good people, stuff like that. I know it's so crazy, but I think this is a good idea to bring people that are very young in the community into thinking like pretty based. Anyway, that's what we're going to do. So I just want to do a super quick intro so we can make sure that we honor our guests on the panel. It's not going to be a crazy long show tonight. We got stuff to do, my boo. So let's get it in. So first in chat was Dang Old Matt, of course. Bro, Dang Old Matt is so fast with it. It's crazy. But my guy, welcome. Hand slap. Thank you, brother. Let's go through and introduce all the channel members because they are currently nearly 87% of our support on YouTube. So appreciate you. By the way, yo, Rumble is exceeding YouTube like crazy on channel support. We'll just say that. And I know a lot of it is like you guys just constantly contributing. Kurt 24, my guy, he's been contributing. Bro, Drewski, you already know. Hot Dog 990, Fat Rooster, a bunch of you guys have been contributing, and I appreciate it so much. But let's go through and welcome all of our channel members. For you guys, if you're just tuning into DLD After Dark for the first time, stick around. It's going to be a few minutes of just welcoming our channel members because they are the ones that get the recognition for supporting the channel. Then we're going to jump into the topics, and you're also going to hear why you should listen to the people on the panel when it comes to things to consider when purchasing your first handgun. And I also want to hear from the viewers as well, because that's super important. So welcome, Kurt 24, the producer of the show. Appreciate you, bro. Not only, bro, Kurt 24 is not only a channel member, but he is also a moderator. So put some spec on his name. Flying Rich Firearms, brother, great to see you. We were chatting earlier. Appreciate you, my guy. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging out. Mike McClune, the Goon, brother, great to see you. Appreciate you, moderator and channel member. Appreciate you, my guy. Let's see who else. Mike McClune, the Goon. Yo, Jay Duffy, I ain't seen you in a minute, and it's great to see you, brother. Appreciate you coming in and hanging out as well. Let's see who else. Let's do Eric Stockbridge. I feel like I haven't seen you in a minute either, man. Another channel member. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with us. Let's see who else we got. Card 24, Mike McClune, Eric Stockbridge. Let's see, Mike McClune, Card 24. I'm just making sure that we are not missing anybody here. Zanty Misfit, brother, great to see you as well. Also a channel member. Speak of the devil, Fat Rooster, my guy. Fat Rooster, bro, by the way, I literally had to nix that project. It just, for a super long story, it's not going to be, it likely won't work without doing some serious, tremendous changes to the frame, which could compromise the structural integrity. It just wouldn't be a good move. And B, it's not really worth it. But so I'm gonna send something else instead of. I'm a little blown about it. Don't want to talk about it. Red Dawn was right. That's fine. We'll get that out of the way now. But it's all right. We'll talk about it later. Which also could be things to consider when purchasing your first firearm. Don't chop up the frame for aesthetics. That would be a good thing to consider. Kurt 24's anti-misfit. There he is. Blue Curtain Burner, brother. Great to see you, man. Lightning McQueen, brother. Great to see you as well. Appreciate you, my G. Let's see. Lightning McQueen's anti-misfit. Goonbeam, brother Goonbeam, great to see you. The best flashlights in the business. We love it. Gort, great to see you, Mr. Gort. Let's see, Kurt 24, Lightning McQueen, Zanty Misfit, Gort, Zanty. Let's see, Lightning McQueen, Zanty, Gort. Appreciate you, man. Kurt 24, Zanty. Okay, Mike McClune, Zeta Misfit, Gort. I'm just making sure I don't miss anybody here. Hey, Pew Tang goes up. G's up, hose down. I was like, well, I don't think it goes like that. Brother, great to see you, man. Pew Tang, my brother. Let's see. I've never shooted before. That's great. Yeah. I mean, bro, and I'll actually explain kind of where this came from and why, because I noticed like we look, bro, we gotta if we constantly have just this little vacuum of the conversations that we're having, and I'm out in all these other live streams and stuff, and I'm seeing the questions people are asking, and I'm like, yo, most people just don't know much at all. So it's important that we contribute to them, help them, give them information, equip them with the knowledge, and then get them, in the super base community and get them thinking like us. You know what I'm saying? We need more super base, Christian dudes. That's all I'm saying. Drewski, brother, great to see you, man. Also a channel member, lifetime channel member. See Kurt 24. Run Gun, great to see you as well, my guy. Appreciate you coming in, hanging out. Drewski, let's see. Sig P320, good for a first handgun. LOL, that's great. Let's see. Got a cheese, my guy. Great to see you. I've not. My printer just stopped before the show, man. I really need to keep it running. I may get another bamboozle, but we'll see. We'll see. There's a whole that's a whole nother thing too. Yeah, we'd be printing out here too. Got a cheese. Not my name, brother. Great to see you. Also a channel member. Appreciate you, my guy. Live life, brother. Great to see you. I hope you're getting some usage out of the book that I sent you. And see, Drewski, got a cheese. Eric Stockbridge, Mike McClune, The Goon, and that's it. Woo, excuse me, didn't want to burp right in the mic there. All right, let's go ahead and get into it, guys. So I'm going to bring on a couple panel members. We have one guest backstage now, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to discuss a couple things. Why you should even consider listening to us on this topic at all, and B, going back to evaluating like when we were in that place of purchasing firearms for the first time, the decisions that we made, what decisions we would potentially have made differently had we known what we know now. And it's going to be a great conversation, and I really want and really need y'all's input too in the chat, because I want to hear the same kind of things. Just don't put like your serial numbers and stuff. I'm just kidding. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. So first off in the chat, it's your boy. You know him, you loved him, you loved the first one. You didn't really like the remake, but it was still good enough to watch when it comes on TV. It's your boy, Red Dawn. Welcome, brother.
Red Donikov.
Red Donikov. Frederick Dunnigan III. Great to see you, man. Red Dawn Readiness. Hey, there he is, Agarizer, brother. Great to see you, man. So if you could, Mr. Red Dawn Readiness on all platforms, if you could, let everyone know who you are, what you do, and where they can find you.
It's I, Rojo Dawn. And you can find me.
Senor Rojo.
You can find me at Red Dawn Readiness on all platforms. Live streams on YouTube Wednesdays and Friday nights. Be there, be square. Don't be square, be there.
Yeah,
we're gonna dig into some things that me and Mr. DLD After Dark have probably talked about 7,000 times already. So we're ready to handle it. And it's gonna be a good one. And we're gonna talk about maybe why you should consider something else besides a Glock.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
You will find that interesting.
Yeah, and for the people out there that are like, oh, great, if we're going to watch the Glock Network for an hour, right? Rip Curl, brother, great to see you, man. And
he
everyone
knows I'm not staying that late. He knows I'm got early morning activities. Fat Rooster, good to see you, brother. Good to see you.
We were just saying how much we miss you, Fat Rooster.
I was like, I haven't talked to him in a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, I haven't seen him for a couple days, or a couple streams. So yeah, I mean, this isn't going to be just watching the Glock Network, right? This is literally going to be which funny, because the Glock Network actually isn't Glock, and honestly doesn't have well, whatever. Anyway, this is going to be the conversations of literally things to consider before you purchase your first handgun or pistol, right? So or revolver, if people are into that, and actually going into things that matter way less than the stuff that we do and we carry in our equipment, which kind of puts baby in a corner on sticking with Glock or Glock style stuff. So we do have another guest coming on here in just a bit, and something original. The dude that slam fired his hand, consider not a Carl Wather from World War One. My guy slam fired a 32 ACP into his hand on accident. I mean, of course it was on accident, but guns do fail. Guns do have catastrophic failures. They malfunction when you get a firearm as a gift, as an heirloom, brand new from the store. Do not just throw a magazine in there and slam that slide closed, because that may be the last thing that you hear. So remember that, because we see it happen at the range. It just happened with a Bull Armory Glock clone at MD Arsenal. It happened with the 32 ACP Walther from Something Original. And he had, I mean, that is Something Original. What would you guesstimate the amount of time it took you to receive the injury and heal? And did you ever heal from it? He came on the show, he talked about it, he showed the wound. I mean, he literally was like, and like showed it, and it was like if you took like a star, hole punch and like it was pretty brutal. So for all those people that say 32 ACP is an anemic caliber, and ask Something Original if 32 ACP is an anemic caliber. It was brutal.
Brutal. Right through the center of the hand?
I think it was placed, maybe it was like the fatty
Is that the
side
one
of
you
the
sent me the
thumb.
picture of?
No, that was a different one,
That
actually.
was
I mean,
someone taking apart a Glock, right?
that was someone taking apart a Glock, and they cleared the chamber, and then they racked it, and then took out the magazine, and
Oof.
then were holding it like this to take it down, which, believe it or not, that happens all the time.
I don't even trust
Frequently.
that I've checked it and that it's legit. And when I take it down, I make sure that I have nothing in front of that thing when I pull the
Well, you
trigger.
know what?
I just
Maybe,
don't even trust my own eyes. Sometimes I'm like, nope.
yeah, and that's also why we, get our phalanges in the chamber as well. And we're going to talk about that too. Something Original says 3 months to fully heal, and I lost all my gym gains, and it went sideways. Oh man,
Oof. Try
yeah, you
having a
were.
few kids back to back. You'll lose your gym gains there too.
Yeah, for real. And also your financial gains,
And also your financial
capital gains. Um, Senor Bob, brother, great to see you, man. Appreciate you, my guy. No way, yo, Stifler Manufacturing just became a YouTube channel member, brother. Welcome to the Kim Light
Nice.
Battalion. Actually, you know what? Let's give it the
Sweet.
welcome to the Kim Light Battalion. Ba, 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 ba. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. And for everyone out there that is either a Glock owner or interested in building and assembling Glocks, Stifler does have excellent options for Stifler slides for Glock compatible items, even if it's not like a straight up Glock frame. Check out Stifler's website. They also have an eBay store. And I believe if you use code DARK, you can also save a particular percentage that's between 9 and 11%. So there you go.
Nice.
Heck yeah. Okay, so the first thing is now for the person out there that's going to put this in the comments.
Good to see you, Bob.
The conversation actually starts at 21 minutes or whatever. Here you go. That moment is now. So Red Dawn, why should anyone listen to you at all talking about, firearm purchases, procurements, running kit, running gear, carrying a gun, any of this stuff at all?
Well, you should listen to me if you're taking the time to hear me. That doesn't mean you have to do what I say, though. So
Of course not.
there's a whole balance there. But I mean, I have a little bit of experience. I have quite a few handguns. I've owned quite a few different handguns, shot quite a few different handguns, work at a gun store. Just used a lot of different products, so I feel like I can give some decent feedback on the things that I've used or researched on.
And you've been through it a little
Yeah.
more recently too. So you've kind
Yeah.
of been you've been through this a little more recently, whereas
Yep.
like some of us have just done it for so much time that we would actually be called fuds in a lot of cases, right? Like
Yeah.
I guess a lot of
So
dudes
so
actually
is
look at
there
me
a
as an old
difference
man.
though? Is there a difference though between like you owned your first handgun and like you really considered like the purchase of your first handgun that felt like this is like my main squeeze? Is there a difference there for that level of
I mean,
buttery?
kind of. I mean, so I guess it depends, right? Because like I've been into purchasing firearms lawfully for about, man, this is crazy to say, 2 decades. I bought my first lawful firearms about 2 decades ago. It was a Wasser 1063. Man, this is where people say that I'm an old man. It was a Wasser 1063 for like $339. And back then, the rich folks had ARs and the broke folks had AKs. Nowadays, anyone with 350 bucks and a shipping address can have an AR, and AKs are over a G stack. So, it's interesting how things have inverted, which is why you should also collect your firearms, keep your firearms, just because it's highly likely that they will grow in value later on. And if you grow out of stuff or choose to not, want to run that caliber anymore, or whatever it is, they could always be worth more in the future. Just give me a thumbs up whenever you're good to go backstage, brother. Similarly, I've run a lot of different platforms. I've been purchasing firearms for about 2 decades. I didn't purchase my first handguns until a few years after that. So I'd say I've been purchasing and acquiring firearms for, you know, 20 years, but I've been really, really, really into it for about 15. But I didn't go like fully off the cliff, like parachute, on my back until I probably 10 years ago. And through that process, you make so many mistakes when you're starting to, get your first firearm, your first handgun. All of a sudden, you make a purchase, and then you realize it doesn't make sense for magazine capacity, for the ability to carry it, holster compatibility, or for cost of ammunition. Like all these things to consider, and then you end up, even if you love it, even if it shoots like a dream, even if whatever it is, eventually you're like, man, this kind of sucks. And then you end up, selling it, trading it in, getting something else. So what we're trying to do with this is help people that are out there, either collecting information to make these decisions, or that are in the early stages of like, I'm going to purchase, and or I just purchased, I want to purchase a few more, something like that. So in the early stages of procuring firearms. Agorizer, brother, member for 27 months, thank you so much. He says, tip, don't steal, the government hates competition. Bro, absolutely 100%. Yes, you already know the government hates you, and once you did. And if I may, we have our third guest backstage here. I would like to take a moment to bring on our next and third and final guest of the night. Your friend, my friend, all of our friend, Black Diamond Josh with Fat Tack. What's up, brother?
What's up, man?
How's it going?
It's a going. It's going.
It is a going.
So where y'all at?
Man, that wall's shaping up.
It looks
yeah,
excellent.
it's looking good. It's a work in progress. I don't have everything up that I'd like, but
Dude, it really does look good. And the green at the top, man, I like the green at the top. Sometimes when I'm feeling a little spicy, you know what I also like to do? Where am I? Sometimes I like to change that to green too.
Nice. I got green on the bottom. Well, this way, I guess. I
Okay.
thought
Okay.
this is actually like more like a turquoise kind of blue color, but it looked green on camera.
It does. It does indeed.
See what
But
it
it all
looks
looks
like on green.
it all looks great. You know, and I'm going to keep that green right there because if it's blue, it kind of like washes out the. It doesn't look the same. And then you know, I could go through like all the other like the whole color wheel. Actually, that looks pretty dope. I'm gonna keep that. You can barely see the green. I got a whole green light
Yeah.
going on the top, and you can't see it.
Mm.
Anyway, yeah. So we're essentially in the beginning. Hey, too many choices. Good to see you. And you know, we're at the just need a fat tack after dark sign. Just wait. You just wait. You
It's
just
in the
wait.
process. I'm actually talking to tactart.com or tac art or whatever.
Nice.
Anyway,
That's what's up.
they
Jova, what up?
they do a lot of cool
What's
stuff,
up, Joe?
and their designs look really awesome. But man, they're so expensive. I mean,
I pushed that other one through the other company we talked
Oh, yeah?
about. Yeah, I'm just gonna see what happens. I mean, if I get it for that price, it's great, you know. But
Yeah. So let me know what it looks like, because if it looks great, then I'm gonna go that way too. But
yeah,
I'm looking at like $650 for
Oh,
one sign.
bro.
At
At that price, it's worth it. To nothing against
Tac Art.
sign,
Let
tactical sign,
me look on the old Instagram, see what their name is. I'm pretty sure it's Tac Art. Tac
tac art.
Yeah,
Yeah.
TACART.
It's honestly, I think it's kind of worth it to give this one a shot because it's you know a sixth of the price. But
For sure.
welcome, Mr. H0661. Appreciate you coming in and hanging out with us. It's perfect timing. We are literally just getting into the conversation. Josh had asked kind of where we're at. So we're first starting off with why they should even consider listening to
Can't
us.
even see that.
Yeah, that doesn't. Let's see.
They're gonna
Oh, that
look
looks cool. That looks cool.
I mean, they actually say the
Nice.
name and everything. Like, they're gonna look cool, but man, they're really expensive.
Yeah, that middle one will be fire.
Yeah.
So hold on. The
And it's like,
sign says your name. So
Yeah.
like it says Fat Tack, Fat Tack, Fat Tack, Fat Tack.
yeah, it says it over and over again. Oop, wrong way.
Oh yeah,
Err.
that's dope. Yeah, I like the second one. That's the one.
Yeah.
It's like 40 inches. It's like it is 40 inches by 39 inches. So 40 by 40, like square. But man, it's so expensive.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
Ed Zachary, this watch is a Casio for $25.
A Casio. You sure I'm talking about-
Okay, yeah.
Casio?
So
Planes, trains, automobiles.
it's a Casio.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Casio.
we're at the stage where we're basically telling people that are listening why they should listen to us. Obviously, none of us are, you know,
Nobody listen to me. I'm terrible.
certified armorers or anything, but you know, one of the things I was saying is that you know I've acquired experience over the years from me purchasing my first firearms when I turned 18 to now being you know later in my 30s. You know, I have close to 2 decades basically of making terrible decisions and wasting metric, you know, butt tons of money to where hopefully when I share these, you know, errors that I've made with you guys and things that we've learned from, all of you guys can take away a little bit of value and potentially save money on your future purchases as well. Also, the purpose of this is to reel in newbies to the community so we can radicalize them into being super based Christian gun nuts like us that don't
Yeah.
trust the government.
Absolutely.
Yep. And this will
Nice.
definitely be played in court one day. So
that is not a joke. That actually has happened to me. So that is absolutely true.
I totally believe it. I said
Do you
it
remember me telling you
wholeheartedly.
about that?
No.
Yeah. So some of our podcasts were actually shown in my court case.
Oh yes, that I do remember.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't know if this was something else. You know.
No. It's yeah.
I
But I
remember.
also, you know, I've already received federal grand jury subpoenas from the ATF. You know, all the normal stuff when you sell jigs and pocket knives. But yeah, so Josh, go ahead and introduce yourself. Let everyone know who you are, what you do, where they can find you, and then also just kind of let them know a little bit about your experience and why anyone should even consider listening to you and or us.
I think I don't really, so it's just the experience of doing it forever, and basically um when you make content like we do, I think that you have the ability to shoot a lot of different stuff. You have the ability to honestly just play around with a bunch of stuff, and so we get to work the kinks out on a lot of things.
Yeah.
That's it's a great thing because we get to do this as a hobby, yet also as something that we like to do, and something that we get to share our passion with other people. I think that you have to be somewhat educated as far as like what's better than the other thing and stuff like that. But the whole thing is like when you're a gun content creator, right? Like people are very I don't know, man. It's so opinionated, and a
It
lot of
is.
people have a huge opinion on like whether you're a shill or you're just talking about this company because they paid you, and a
Mhm.
lot of that stuff. But the thing is that when you're a content creator, you know which ones are guys that are just going to say yes to everything, and you know the guys that are going to tell you the
Yeah,
actual truth. And I
for
think
sure.
that if you watch any of our content, any one of us, you know that we are the guys that will tell you the truth no matter what. No
Well,
matter
I think that's an excellent point, and I would ask this question of myself, of Red Dawn, and Josh: if you are sponsored by a firearm manufacturer, raise your hand. I'm just kidding. No, uh, absolutely none of us here are paid by anyone. Glock, Sig, Ruger, Smith and Wesson.
yeah.
Although
Would
we're
be nice.
open. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
We
I ain't
are
gonna lie to you.
verbal.
I'm open for it. I'm not
yeah,
gonna lie. I'm definitely open for
for
it.
sure. Get a nice little M&P collection.
Except
Yeah.
Sig, I'm good.
Yeah,
I have a
yeah.
job already. Thanks, Sig.
Sig, I'm curious about your long guns, maybe, but aside from that, yeah, Sig, I ain't really feeling it. Plus, they'd end up,
They'd
arming
have to pay
like,
me an awful lot, man.
yeah. Well, see, that's the thing, right? So a lot of content creators are like, "Oh, Sig, trash. How much you want to pay me?"
Yeah,
So Sig is the
yeah.
number one highest rated.
Yeah.
It's like so.
The 320 has been tested more than any other firearm out on the market.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's
right. Well,
highly
the funny thing
reliable.
is why it's been tested more than any other firearm on the market?
Yeah.
Because it's killing people. That's why.
Yep.
That's why. Okay, Stifler Manufacturing. This is beautiful. DLD After Dark. If you haven't been reached out to by the ATF, are you even 2Aing? Bro, beautifully put, man. That
Yeah.
that should be a shirt. We'll work on that with the Corn the Long Way shirt. So, Josh, you run Black Diamond Guns and Gear and also Fat Tech. You want to throw that out there too?
Yeah, so basically, Black Diamond Guns and Gear started as a YouTube channel, which we have now basically. I mean, we still have YouTube content, but for the most part, we put all of our new content over on the actual Rumble channel. I don't know if you can say that word over here, but not. But
We kind of already did in the beginning.
yeah. So I put all my stuff over there now because it's just the hottest place to go because people are actually allowing you to post things. When we're doing these kind of live streams like this, we can actually hold stuff and show you what they're doing, show you like what we're talking about and stuff. Like it's easier to do. It's just such an easier platform to maneuver. But anyway, yeah, I put everything over on Rumble and also do the marketing and I can't say anything more than that about fattack.com. So if you like Fat Tack and you know of Fat Tack, that's me. But yeah,
well,
other than that,
I changed my holster. I was carrying the Fat Tech holster all day and I changed pants. If you're interested in excellent holsters that carry very, very low in the pantalones, then check out Fat Tech. There you go. Yeah, they make excellent stuff. Really good
Snake
stuff.
skin on my 43X I got going on.
That is fire. Garen
I need
Wilson,
one for the full size goon beam.
Yeah, the TLR one. That's what. So the first ones I got from Fat Tech were for the TLR7 sub and smaller lights, and then I ended up getting one of the Fat Tech holsters for Glock 19 with a TLR1 or the Goon Beam sized TLR1 compatible light because Goon Beam makes the best pistol lights on the planet. and especially for the price. And that's what I've been rocking for a while now. My other holster is dead, not a Fat Tac. The not a Fat Tac holster is well, it's dying, so working on that. But Garen Wilson, he says, I own 2 P320s, LOL. So do I. I currently have 2 P320s in the safe, and though I just personally don't hold them, carry them, load them,
I used to own 2.
I don't speak to
I was
them
ahead of the
aggressively.
curve.
I don't, so let's jump into it. Let's go through and discuss the first handgun that you purchased and why,
Oh,
and then also what other handguns were you considering when you purchased that first
I
handgun?
actually have a funny story, but go ahead.
Sure, whoever wants it first. Rock, paper, scissors.
what was the first handgun we ever bought?
Yeah, first handgun that you ever purchased, and then what
Springfield
other handguns were you
XD9.
considering during
Dude, a
that?
lot of people actually get Springfield XDs. That's a lot of people's first choice. And
Mhm.
do you think it's because of price, or do you think it's because they just like really don't know any better, or what?
I mean, I think they're good guns. I
Yeah.
think a lot of people first handgun, they're like, oh, it's got a grip safety, it's safe.
So you
You
think a
know,
lot of
like
people are
the-
like safeties are the most important thing, and so that's why I need all of
think,
these.
yeah, I think newer gun owners are like safeties means safe.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a consideration. I don't think it's like the main one, but it is
Price is
typically.
definitely a big consideration. The other thing is that
Yeah.
it's like it has a good reputation, even to this day. The Springfield
Yeah.
XD9. I actually
Good
still
man.
know quite a few people carrying Springfield XD9s. Unfortunately,
I,
and
I'm not
There
saying they're
was-
terrible guns. Like they're not terrible at all. Like
They
I
work.
think they work
do
and
work.
everything. But as far as I guess
they're
just as
better
far as,
than a
like,
SIG 320.
you're probably right. Honestly, you really
Also-
are. You're probably right.
For newer people, when we say stuff like they work, what we mean is that there are handguns on the market that do not work well.
Yeah.
Or have reliability issues, are very picky with ammunition.
Jennings,
All these things. Oh goodness, Jennings,
Lawson.
Davis, any of those that all look the same but have a different name. Generally, stay away from.
Yeah.
If it is under $100, please reconsider. If all you can afford is a high point, do it up and then just get very, very, very good with it. And then save up money to buy something else as fast as possible. By the way,
thing I don't like about high points, they're just really heavy.
yeah, especially for a non-steel handgun, like they're not even magnetic.
Yeah.
I want to add this though, for people that are like, well, I don't have a bunch of money. I have $100 or $150, so that's what I want to get.
Buy a
Please
slingshot.
remember that you can go to there are places like the surplus of AIM, okay? AIM surplus. Places like that have
$150.
trade-in Glocks
Get a spear.
that are $299. You know what I
Dude.
mean? You could literally get a law enforcement trade-in Glock for like $299. They had Glock
Yeah.
21
for sure.
45 ACPs for like $279 or something like that.
Yeah.
Now I know we're not supposed to say like the whole thing. So anyway, that's I guess as much as I'll go in detail with that. But they also had trade-in Gen 5s for like $349.
What?
So
That's pretty good.
yeah, now the
Non-MOS, but-
non-MOS, yeah. Which for people that are new, MOS is a modular optic system, so it's very easy to put a red dot sight on. You can always pick out a newbie when they have the dovetail red dot Picatinny mount with a red dot on it that's this high
Yeah.
above the bore.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
The whole
sorry.
point of a Glock and everything like it is the fact that the bore axis is so low that it just fits great in your hand and goes basically in the middle of your hand. I mean, if you look at a 320 or something like that, you pretty much have something that is so high, like 1.5 inches above your hand, that the
The
rocking is just
balance,
so the balance is off.
recoil, yeah,
Yeah.
all of that.
Especially you add a dot on top of that, you're adding like 2 inches above your middle of your hand. Like it's so
Uh-huh.
Yeah. ADXR920, brother, great to see you, man. I feel like it's been a minute since I've seen you. Member for 34 months, dude. That's crazy. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate the support. We got
My
about
second
75
gun
people in chat.
was the Smith & Wesson SD9, and my first gun that I decided to carry was a Springfield Hellcat.
okay.
Really? Oh, I thought you had said you had a Glock 27 early on.
I did, but that I didn't purchase that. That was yo, homie, hold this. You need one. You
Oh,
need one
okay.
at the
Okay.
house.
Did
And I was
you
like,
carry it or
cool.
just keep it at the house?
I just kept it. I was in college, so it was like I was in class and just kept it at the apartment.
Gotcha.
My first pistol, my dad actually gifted to me, and he gifted it to me by me going to my dad and being like, "Hey, I want something that looks like a Glock or a Glock." At first, I was just like, "I want a Glock," and
Mhm.
then, but the
So
reasons
did you
why
also get a Springfield XD9?
no, so it might have been worse, but so I was like, "Hey, man, I really like the way," and I didn't care about anything other than the way it looked. And so to me, I love the way how square Glocks look. To me, they
Yeah.
just look
I
so
think they're
awesome.
gorgeous. Yeah,
I do too.
agree.
And everybody's like, "Oh, I hate this brick," but really, it's like it's the best looking handgun. The square ones now. Gen 5 and stuff, when they started like cutting on them and stuff, it is what it is. They still work and I like them and everything, but I like the squareness of a Glock. That's me personally. So
Dude,
I told my dad, I was like, "Hey, get me a Glock."
They
I said, "I
are
really like
very
the square."
square.
Mhm.
He'd come up and he was like, "Okay, I got you something." And he was like, "It's not a Glock, but I hope you like this." So he gave it to me for my birthday, and it was a Smith and Wesson Sigma.
Mm.
It is square. I'll give him that. It was totally square,
It indeed is very
but
square.
it was not a Glock at all. And so
But it
to
was close
me,
enough to it being a Glock that they got sued for
right.
that.
And to this day, I wish I still had it. I actually sold it,
Yeah,
but
that's
yeah,
tough, man.
I wish I sold it.
Did you sell it for like $103 or like what'd you get?
Well, the funny thing is, I actually sold it to give myself more money to get a Glock 22.
Nice.
So you got a full size 40 cal.
Yep.
Wow.
And at the time, didn't know nothing about 9mm, didn't know nothing about didn't know the difference. You know what I'm saying? Like how much, what was what, didn't really know, and then as time went on, having that full size Glock and 40 cal, going to the range like I'm trying to learn how to get better
Shoots
and stuff.
great.
Shoots great and everything, but the problem is that it's so expensive shooting 40 versus
Yeah.
shooting 9.
Especially
So,
at that time. If
yeah.
this was a while back when
Yes.
not like 40 was the only ammo available,
Yeah.
9mm was just completely unobtainium.
Yeah.
And when it would pop up, it was extremely expensive. Like dudes that can buy 1,000 rounds for like 230 nowadays and complain about it, like
Yeah.
bro,
Don't
it's
know.
yeah, 10 years ago it was 169 to 199, and it seemed like a lot. It felt like a
Yeah.
lot, but it's
It did.
still a reasonable
Yeah. Now I
looking
wish
at
we
the
could find it for
way.
that.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially if you look at the way that like everything else has become so much more expensive, ammunition has actually grown like in a reasonable scale in
Yeah.
perpetuity to like all other goods,
Yeah.
Um, so okay, so you got the Sigma.
So after doing that, I sold it, got a Glock 22, and then while
Mhm.
doing that, getting in further and further into it, I was just like, you know what, I need this to be 9. So I actually got a
Conversion kit.
conversion barrel, from
Okay.
Lone Wolf, and so I made that Glock 22 a 9mm. I made it a Glock 17, and then it just kind of built from there. And I had a love relationship with Glock because that's it, man. Honestly, for me, I just like the reliability. I like the fact that it's always going to shoot. It's always going to work no matter what. And the fact that you can find parts for them everywhere, the fact that you can find aftermarket stuff for them everywhere. It's just something that is going to be good for you in the long run. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying that everything else isn't going to be. I'm not saying everything else isn't going to work. What I'm saying is that a Glock will always be good for you in the long run.
Yeah. Red Dawn, you have some guy in the chat that says you're really cute.
He's a guy, Mom.
He's a guy, Mom. Then Jay Duffy says he's been working out.
Ooh.
That's funny. Let me ask you this, Josh. At that time when you had that full size, so for people out there that don't know, the Glock 22 is a full size 40 caliber, which at that time 40 caliber was one of the most popular law enforcement cartridges until they got their act together and switched back to 9mm. But were you carrying that gun, or
Oh, yeah.
were you just okay? So you were inside the waistband carrying it, or open carry?
And
How were you
Uncle
doing
Mike's holster.
Uncle Mike's.
Yes, sir.
God bless America. So
What-
you
what-
were
what-
Before that, I
Go ahead,
was
go.
totally not even having a holster,
You were just thugging it out. It was just in your pants.
just in my pants.
Were you doing a
Loaded?
clip draw or anything else?
Nope. Just sticking it in
Loaded?
there. Just loaded, sticking it in there.
Round in the chamber.
Oh yeah.
Straight cartel carry.
Oh yeah.
So that's literally how I. All right. So we've gone through y'all. So in the
I don't
beginning,
think I'll throw this out there. I don't think I
Yeah.
did it that long until I
Mhm.
found an Uncle Mike's holster. I was like, okay, this is a little bit better. This is it's keeping it up there a little bit higher so I can get a hold of it.
now
Of course,
that's
it was 3 or
like
4 o'clock, so
outside the waistband, but still covered with like a shirt or something, or
no, I did that for a while with the Sigma. I did that in a Black Hawk on the
Mm.
outside the waistband. Oh yeah, and I got pictures of it.
Isn't it so cringe? Like when we think about it nowadays, like
I have a
the stuff-
picture. If I can find it, I'll pull it up on my phone. I'm pretty sure I have one.
if
But
y'all
yeah.
knew, I could probably talk about this. So before
Michael get you killed.
before 100%, Fat Rooster knows what's up. Uncle Mike will get you killed.
It will. That's the thing.
Yeah, so will Phobos. Phobos will get you killed in these streets. So a funny thing is, before I became 21, I actually had a couple pistols through various ways of lawfully procuring them.
I'm not ignoring you. I'm trying to find this picture.
No, you're good. You're good. There was a time I had a Glock 26. There was a time I had a Glock 17. There was a time I had a Taurus 7-shot 357 Magnum. There was a few different guns that I carried from time to time. And so the 26, for an example, I named it Puddin, Puddin. The 17 I named Baloo, like the bear from the Jungle Book.
Nice.
And to carry the 26, I literally took a crappy nylon shoulder holster. So pause. Before I started using any holsters at all, I would literally take the gun, I would charge around in the chamber, I would put it cross draw on my left side at like 10:30, 11 o'clock. So because it's super tight in your jeans against your hip right there, right? So like 12, 11, 10. So probably closer to like 10, 10:30. And what I mean by that for the newbies out there, 12 o'clock is your belt line, right? And then 6 o'clock is your butt crack line. 3 o'clock is, the east. If you're thinking of a compass, 12 o'clock is north, right? 3 o'clock is east. Your butt crack 6 o'clock is south, and then 9 o'clock is west, right? Just so I can give you guys like an idea. So I was putting a loaded Glock 17 or 26 in my waistband with nothing, no holster, no nothing, at about like so what is that? Would that be south, north? North, south, whatever, like 10 o'clock. Okay.
Yeah.
And I carried it that way for a really long time. But I didn't even realize at the time, like, well, cross draw is a really slow draw. Cross draw is a great way to muzzle everyone in the room before you point at what you point at. I also didn't really practice or train or anything like that. So when I pulled out a pistol, I was shooting one-handed for the most part. Then I started getting into holsters and stuff like that. I gave a few holsters a try, but I was putting all of them in the front of my pants because that's where I always carried everything, right? And I wasn't doing like 3, 4 o'clock. So I took a nylon shoulder holster and I literally removed one strap, and then I cut the other strap. So I would shove the nylon holster for a Glock in the front, like right at 12 o'clock. And then I would shove the Glock in there. And then I would take the strap and literally tie it around my belt. And I would carry that thing in my waistband like that. It was the worst thing in the world. It was
basically the way I did mine.
It's terrible. And I do not recommend that for anybody. But
it's real bad.
You make stupid decisions when you don't have the information, right? And the crazy thing is that I didn't even get a gun belt until years and years and years later. But this is before the internet. I'm just kidding. But at the time, that Glock 26 was actually um,
The Glock 26 is definitely not a bad first gun.
oh, it was great, but it was also one of those like, yo, hold this kind of thing. So I didn't get to
I was real partial to a Glock 26. That was my second gun that I bought after the Glock 22, and the reason why is just because I liked the ability to have the slide. For me, I've always been really good at just sight manipulation and stuff like that. With having that shorter distance in between my sights, I've just always been better at that. A lot of
Mhm.
people say they have a better at longer distances, having like a Glock 34 or something. For me, it gives me
Yeah.
a lot of area to mess up, to make it just mess up for me. And so having that shorter distance was always better for me. And I didn't really have a problem with the recoil because I always carried it like a Glock 19 size because I had a 15 size magazine with an X grip on it. So I
Mhm.
always carried it just like that. So it's basically a Glock 26X if you're looking at like a 19X size.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
it was great, man. I loved carrying that pistol. I was so good with it. I could do a walk back challenge where you start, 7 yards and walk all the way back to 100 or whatever and shoot like one shot on the ding and whoever misses first is out or whatever that kind of thing is.
Yeah.
I could do that no problem with that 26. Still have it. And
I
yeah.
don't have my 26 any longer because it was removed from my possession by a deputy sheriff
Oh
who
wow.
said that
I
I
remember
should
that
not
story.
be. Yeah. And then I never got it back, and I kept calling them and calling them and calling them. And the funny thing is I was also like, well, let me at least get the ammunition. They were like, and it's funny, it was like 13 rounds of ammo, right? Like
Yeah.
I was blowing them up, dude, back then, but they were like, sir, we literally destroy the ammunition the moment we take something into evidence. And I
Okay.
finally called, I guess, like one too many times, and the person was like, sir, this says that you were not charged with a crime. I was like, correct. They're like, so you're under the age of 21. You were carrying a gun. I said, I was transporting a lawful firearm, which was the case, and and you didn't get charged. And you've called us now, a bazillion times. W- They could literally just charge you with the crime of carrying a concealed firearm. Like, why are you? I'm like, you know what? You're right. Thank you so much for your time. Goodbye. Like, and I never called them again, and I just wrote it off as a
I
loss.
don't need it that bad.
Yeah, exactly. But when I turned 21, I also, God forgive me, carried a Taurus PT92, the chrome thing.
Yeah.
So when it hit 7 years, were you calling back? Like,
No, because they
no,
were
the
like,
statute
we're
of limitations.
we're gonna
says,
destroy it. Like I knew it wouldn't live that long because it was gonna be destroyed before the
oh,
statute
it's
of
probably some dude's
limitations.
ankle carry he's had.
Oh,
for
absolutely.
That's what I thought. I
Absolutely.
literally was like, this dude stole it. The cop stole it. And guess what? That cop, the one that ended up taking it, was
Yeah.
also my school resource officer. I'm probably giving too much info out. He was my school resource officer, and he also got relieved of duty for doing dirt.
ankle carry and a Glock.
Really?
26.
No, for being corrupt.
Dang.
For other
So,
reasons.
yeah, for other stuff. So I totally believe that he snatched that and like gave it to his son or something. But
No, someone did ask in the chat. They have a T-Rex arms holster.
The fat tackles.
Is it gonna get them killed?
what BS? They don't destroy ammo. They keep it for personal use. Wow.
That
Beast
would
makes
be
stars.
sense.
foolish.
All right, sorry. So someone said is T-Rex arms. Hey Joe Morris, good to see you, bro. Steve Whoop, good to see you, brother. Tech Money. Is a
I'm gonna
T-Rex
find this
arms holster
picture.
gonna keep
I'm
them
looking really hard for it.
or gonna get them keeled?
Yeah, no, I think you're good to go. I think he wanted to know. It was your boy with the 380.
Boy with the 380. Oh, you're talking about the dude that shot himself with a 32?
32.
Yeah. Range minded podcast, brother. Great to see you.
So
Yeah, I'll add this. Sorry, real quick. I did have a viewer, and I would say he's a friend, that had a T-Rex arms holster that snapped in his pants. It literally snapped. The Kydex
Really?
snapped like literally like all the way down to where
I mean, honestly, like Kydex isn't isn't something that's going to last forever, man. Like if it gets abused and ran over or stuff like that, like
But
if
you wear
like,
it
ultra
every
test it,
day for years on end and crank
it's
your
going to
belt
crack.
on it.
It's going to get heat. It's going to get moisture and stuff like that. It's going to crack eventually. So,
I
but the
think
cool
you
thing is
said-
most websites will honor like a lifetime warranty or something like that. So,
Mhm.
Fat
Good
Tech
companies
does.
will do that.
Yeah, yeah. Now the first gun when I waited until I turned 21, and especially with the issue of kind of feeling like that was looming over my head, that they could just hit me up anytime and be like, "Yo, we're going to charge you with this." I did have an excellent lawyer back then, still do. And anyway, my local gun shop, which I ended up working there for like 5 or so years, which is another reason why a lot of us have worked at gun shops or have worked within the industry, and also like Josh said, working in the industry as a content creator, it just gives you access to way more platforms, things you hear things from other content creators, and you kind of have access to a little bit more data and evidence than just looking up stuff online. And real world experience, but the local shop to me, I was getting ready to turn 21, so I went in there. So they already knew me because I would go in there as a young adult and be like, "Hey, I need a Glock 17 holster." They're like, "For what?" I'm like, "For my dad." And and
Christmas present.
yeah, I need a Glock 19 holster. Then I come back and I'm like, "Yeah, that one didn't fit." Like, I think it's a 17, and like, anyway, and I actually tried a bunch of holsters. It didn't work because I was basically, like you said, cartel carrying, and then I found the clip draw, which the clip draw I carried for years and years and years and years, live, ran in the chamber, in my pants. It was great. But you got to do it with a good gun belt. If someone were to choose to do it, we're not giving advice. Don't take advice from me. If you do, you're stealing. But what they let me do
But
at
we're
the
trying to tell people to take advice from us.
no, we're trying to tell people to take
Consider
information from
things
us.
before
Yeah,
they purchase their first handgun / pistol.
Okay, so
exactly.
let's jump right to it then. So
Yeah, I'm with
if
you.
we're talking about it, like what do you consider the points that you would have to have in order for you
Yes.
to choose the correct pistol? Like
That's
what do you,
actually
I
exactly
was
what I'm getting
dying
to.
to get to this question.
okay?
That's so when I was 20, my local shop let me, and they kind of already knew me, like I said, they let me purchase a gun before I turned 21. And then on my 21st birthday, I just paid for it. On my 21st birthday, I came in to do paperwork and legally take it home. At that time, I was looking between a bunch of different guns. Now, at that time, I landed on a 1911, but I was also considering things like a Glock. I looked at some of the Rugers. I looked at there were a bunch of other guns that I was considering. But the reason that I landed on the 1911, and these are some things we can segue into this next conversation, is caliber. 45 ACP is a big, hard-hitting caliber, and I was looking for a gun that was a do-all, because the first question people ask is like, "You're looking for a gun. Is it going to be a gun for the house, or are you going to carry it, or are you going to keep it in a bag, or are you going to is it going to be a range gun, a house gun, a car gun, a carry gun, and all these
But
different
when
things
you're
to
your
consider?"
first gun, what do you think you're
I think
like
most
your
people are looking for self defense, like
Yeah,
in all
but
situations.
I
Let's say
I
that you
think
were out
I
there.
think
that's a lot of different elements there.
I
Like
think
I
they
Yeah,
want
thought,
but
the
let's
option to
say
carry. So like I had a friend,
Mhm.
I worked with him at my previous job, and he hit me up because I had told him, like, we were talking about guns one day, and he owns 0 guns. He's getting married, and he's like, hey, he just hit me up this past week. He's like, hey, I need a gun for home defense, and that I want to have the option to carry it as well. So, you know,
I was gonna say,
basically,
I think that's what most people look for.
Fluffy,
They
good
look
to
for
see
that
you.
yeah,
self defense, and
that's
they
what
look
most
for
people are looking
something.
for.
It's like
That
an
they
all around. You know what I'm saying? Like until
all
you get to the
around.
point to where
Yeah,
you're buying more, it is a one does all.
Yeah.
that's and that's kind of so. In that moment, I was like, a huge full size 1911, which Fat Rooster was not a Kimber. I did get a Kimber Pro TLE too, back when they were made in Yonkers, and I thought that, because I was thinking and I think most new gun people are thinking like this. I want it for home defense, but I
Sorry,
also
I
want to
got the
have the.
picture of
Oh, do
my
you?
very, of
Oh,
my
hold
very
on.
first. This is my very first Glock 22.
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
So that was it doesn't say.
I thought
what
you were
year it
going to
was.
find a picture of you.
I am. I'm finding that one
carrying
too.
a Phobos
with the Uncle
holster.
Mike's.
I'm finding that one too.
So I think most new shooters are like, I want something for home defense, and this was my thinking at that time. I wanted the 1911 was a Springfield mil spec with a compensator, a magwell, skeletonized trigger hammer, all that stuff. It looks super cool, and I literally put pearl grips on it because that was the cool thing at the time.
It's still a cool thing.
Yeah,
Pearl grips will never die, bro.
cool to look at. You know,
It's cool in general.
they were faux pearl grips.
If you have multiple 1911s, you need one with pearl grips.
If you have multiple, I could excuse that.
Yes.
That. But my logic was it's a very big gun, so it would be primarily for home defense, but I believe I can also carry it, right? So I got it with like the idea, which I think most new gun purchasers have, which is I can, buy a gun that's primarily for home defense, and then I'll work up to, whatever the skill level, or get holster, gun belt, other stuff later on, and then I'll carry it. But I tried to carry that 1911 with a 10+1 Wilson mag, and I had this tuckable Galco holster that I ended up putting at 12 o'clock, and I like totally Jimmy rigged it somehow. I don't remember quite how right offhand, but it was pretty bad, and it was a massive just brick in my waistband, and it was stabbing me all over, and it was terrible. So that's when I went to the Glock 26, which I did start truly carrying at the age of 21.
And I feel like now I can carry almost any size gun, which is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Well, I think
And,
all of us carry
absolutely.
full-size guns right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you don't put a light on it, for sure, any size gun, like
Yeah.
for comfort and everything. If you had no light on like a 17, it would be comfortable all day.
See, I would
Depending on what
carry a
holster you have.
34 with a light and
Depending
an
on
optic.
the-
I would carry a 34 with a light and an optic.
now,
this
yeah,
out.
but I'm saying, like, if you were new, I think you could still carry a full size
Oh,
gun
man.
without a light and an optic.
This
It
is
takes a
me.
little getting used to.
Nice.
It's a really, really bad picture. Look at that. No trigger control. Look at that.
Dang.
Finger
Jeez.
on the trigger at the gun range inside.
Beautiful.
Well, at least you got it pointed
With
down
the
range,
Sigma.
kind of.
kind of downrange.
Kind of downrange.
It's like,
With the old Sigma.
yeah.
Oh, here's a
Um,
buddy of mine. Same thing. Pointing it really close to his face.
Oh my goodness.
Blowing on.
Dude.
It's not pointed at his face, but it's close.
He's got to get it
Man.
more. He's got to get it more on the temple.
Was he trying to do a temple index?
He was trying to
Temple
go-
index, man.
Like the
So quick question. If you were gonna point someone, not you, but with all your information, if you were gonna point someone such as my buddy who first gun, what direction would you point them in if they're looking for something that they want, that do it all? They want to try to carry it. They want a home defense pistol. They want something good. What would be the top 5 guns that you would say,
Top
take
5?
a look at these 5?
So
I mean,
I
I think we all kind of know what we're all going to say.
I would
know,
actually,
but the sake is to give them considerations for buying their first handgun. So
this is true.
legitimately, 5 handguns that would be a great first purchase to carry, and obviously have for home defense.
So I think here are some considerations, and then we can match up.
I was going to say,
want to hear you.
let's do handgun. Ready on handgun on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Glock 19.
Glock 19. All right.
but
Let's do
because of
number
that-
two. Let's do number two simultaneously because we knew number
two,
one.
okay. All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Smith and
Smith
Wesson.
and Wesson M&P. Stop it. Stop. Okay, hold on. So,
Let's see if we can do all five.
oh man. You know,
now see now after them two, like I
After
consider
two,
like
yeah,
what are we
yeah.
doing for? Are we doing like?
I know what
budget? Are
Red
we
Dawn's
doing-
next one is going to be, hands down.
Oh, okay.
I know what it's going to be.
Really?
Yeah. You want to say it on the count of 3?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Springfield Echelon.
CZP.
Oh, I totally thought you were gonna go Springfield Echelon.
I don't have any time with the. All right, so we picked a 19 and a M&P 2.0.
But a lot of people don't
think-
know why though. So that's kind of why I wanted to get to the
I'm down.
considerations first,
Okay.
and then so, and I know we've been sidetracked. Look, if this is your first time watching DLD After Dark, all we do is get sidetracked, and then we're like, oh, 44 mag, what? Oh, hold on, what kind of gun do you want to buy? And there's a lot of distractions. I love you. Sorry. And welcome everyone. Vanessa Kitty, great to see you. Fluffy Bunny brother, great to see you. The Range, welcome. Anyone else that I missed, thank you for being here.
I don't think anything Springfield would be in my top 5 as well.
I just figured because I know, you know, you enjoy and appreciate the echelon, but I really think that because a lot of people don't know why
that might be
Glock
my
19,
third.
the Springfield Echelon.
It might be, dude. It's actually a really good pistol.
So
It
consider
is.
this.
I
People
don't have
that don't
any
know,
time with the compact version, and I think you should go compact for your first gun.
I think
And
that we
that's-
I think we should name companies because there's a lot of different, like, you know, you can do a lot of different things. You could do, obviously Glock is awesome and every pistol they have is great. Smith and Wesson the same way. Like you can do the Shield, no problem. You could do M&P, no problem. Like all their, you know, the Sigma's kind of like turd or whatever sort of. But for the most part, not too bad. But the what's that one that just came out with that has a hammer fire? It's like the starts with the E.
the what?
It starts with the Equalizer. That thing.
The Equalizer.
I'm not a big fan of that one. But and obviously like their 380, like not the greatest, but I mean they work. That's the thing, right? So we're wanting to point the people in the direction of something that's going to work. And I think the Glock and most Smith and Wessons are going to work.
There's people out there that, and I'm just saying, it's a possibility that they don't know what a Glock 19 is, the capacity, the reasons that don't know, you know, what the, you know what I mean? So I think that, so, okay, for an example, the reason that I was mentioning the story of the 1911, the gun was way too big and heavy. So you have to the weight of a firearm is weight to task ratio, right? So what is the gun going to do? What is the purpose of the gun? If the purpose of the gun is to sit in a safe or a nightstand or on your desk or on the wall or whatever, then obviously weight and you know, heft and size.
1,000% a 1911 should never be considered for someone's first gun.
See, that's what I'm saying. We have to distinguish.
No, not at all. Never ever
you got to distinguish what are they using it for. I think that has a lot.
I'm not saying I would recommend it, right? But there are like the ultra carries from Kimber. There's tiny little you know, 1911s. I'm not saying that I would choose it or recommend it, but there are people that their grandpa shot 1911s, their dad shot 1911s, they grew up around 1911s, and then they go buy one themselves. I'm just saying that's
I'm cool with
true.
people owning them, but like
we're also talking about people not having a good idea for what they're trying to do, and that
they don't know.
Don't do that.
They don't know. They don't know.
If you're watching this live stream now, you know.
Yeah. If you're listening to anything we say, at least for your first pistol, get a striker fired.
Yeah.
Polymer frame
one
pistol.
that's drop safe.
But what? Yeah, drop safety,
dude.
Yeah.
Get up.
Just
you need
listen to us and get a Glock
polymer strike
19.
fire handgun.
It
You
will
have
do
to have
everything
that.
you want it to do. Glock 19 will do everything you want to do. Size, functionality. You can carry it. You can put a light on it. You can use it for home defense. You can get bigger magazines for it.
You can learn how to work
You
on it very easily.
It's easy. Yeah. Aftermarket parts are so simple. Aftermarket parts for you to
Yep.
carry it. And as far as holsters and stuff, like they're everywhere. Sights
But
are everywhere.
let's say they're a 90,
Flashlights, everything are made for them first. Like it's so easy.
let's say they're a 90-pound woman that is going to use it for, home defense, but also she wants to carry it too.
Learn how you need to carry it.
P365 XL.
No. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Yep. If you want a safety on
365s
there,
are
you
okay,
can
I
have
guess.
a safety on there. I would recommend you don't go with the safety, but it's a high capacity, very light, highly concealable gun for a woman. The
problem
Smith &
is
Wesson Equalizer is also, or not, is it, no, the EZ, the one that's made for women, that's also a great choice.
capacity capacity is really terrible on those things. It's like a single stack basically.
Yeah, but it's still a good option for a woman who wants to carry all the time. But yes, if her carry option is going to be in her purse, then go with the regular compact.
I would say the rule to thumb would be carry the largest pistol, the largest bullet size that you're comfortable with carrying and can be accurate with. That's the golden rule.
Yeah.
And I think the smallest
caliber.
Two guns that you can do that with is a P365 XL and a Glock 48. I think those are the two smallest guns that you can be accurate with, manipulate well, like
also
shoot well.
What people don't understand, doing this that are new, people don't understand this either. The smaller a pistol is, the more recoil you're going to have. So the biggest pistol that you can get, you're better off getting. Even if you're a girl and have small hands, the biggest pistol that you can get is going to be better off for you.
I can't lie, bro. The P365 Rose, the one with the built-in comp, that's a phenomenal first gun if you can afford that. It's like $1,000, but
and it comes with a safe that can be defeated with a fork. By the way,
yeah, I wouldn't.
Would you all recommend a Taurus G3C?
If that is your only price budget, but if that is the only budget that you have,
let's say somebody has $300. What do you recommend for $300?
Would you recommend that or a dagger? Would you recommend the Taurus G3 or the dagger?
Keep
probably the dagger, I guess. Maybe, I don't know.
So that does take
probably
standard Glock magazines, because that's another thing to consider.
Yeah,
all these other guns that we've had in the past, Rugers, or I had a P95, I had you had Smith & Wesson Sigma, you had an XD. All of them take magazines that aren't as readily available and inexpensive as Glock magazines. Yeah. Glock magazines around the world are $25 to $30, right?
That's true.
In the US, right? Aftermarket Glock mags are $15, right? So, I mean that
questionable whether they work or not, but
so maybe you're right. Maybe it's fast forward to 1 hour and 14 minutes and 30 seconds for the considerations. The task of the handgun, I would say, is most important. Is it going to be a home defense gun? Is it going to be a carry gun? If it is going to be a carry gun, do not just think that you're going to grab a holster and shove it in your pants. You really need to consider a very good high quality holster and a particular type of holster. Like if you're going to carry inside the waistband, you got to go with something like a Kydex, like Fat Pack holsters.
You should only, if you're new to guns and you're not 65, you should only consider inside the waistband.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You should not even consider an outside the waistband. I think that you could get away with some of these modern belly bands, like the where it's like a belt that you don't need pants for. I think that is a good option. And there's even belly bands that you can put your holster in. Like
the Vertex ones.
Unless you have a gut. If you have a gut, it's not a possibility.
You just got to wrench it a little tighter.
But I'm basically a belly band is like right here, right?
So the Vertex
you can wear. They got ones. Yeah, they got ones that are like
they go underneath your belly.
Underneath your belly, so the grip of your gun comes right up above your pants and right below your belly. So but you can position it at different places. Think
Yep.
of it like an apron, but the apron part is like this big, and it just drapes right below your
Like a
waistline.
vanish holster.
For women, I would
Kinda, yeah.
recommend a belly band, or I forget the name of the company that makes it, but it's
Dean Adams
Flashbang.
or Dina Adams. That company, if you're a girl, Dina Adams makes some really, really cool stuff. And I'll look it up here if y'all want to see it. But y'all go ahead and keep talking and I'll look it up.
So I'm just saying, is you have to consider the task of the firearm. If the task of the firearm is a home defense gun only, then size and weight and all that doesn't matter as much. You can pack as many bullets as you want and the biggest gun that you want with the biggest light and red dot and all that. Two is and obviously if it's going to be a carry gun and all that, you need to consider holster commonality. You really got to get a good gun belt, but there are other ways to carry guns.
Jay
as well.
Duffy. I'm a fan of the stickies. I'm a fan of the
Stickies.
stickies. When I'm at home, sometimes I run the sticky or I run the fat tack.
Yeah. Sticky
I go-
holsters are great.
Yeah, like if I'm going to mow my lawn, I'm wearing my fat tack. If I'm home chilling with my pants, and the Black Hawk sticky holster is better than the sticky holsters. They stick better to your skin.
So this is not meant to be like sexy or anything like that, but basically they have a lot of ways that you can carry if you're a woman. They have a lot of stuff that you don't have to wear on your belt line like this guy right here, like we all do. You can totally have leggings that carry them in the leggings. They have pockets for them that have Velcro straps that hold them in, so you can draw with them. They're not going to fly out when you're running. They have these little corset deal things that go underneath your shirts, and they're kind of like what we were talking about, like the belly band type thing.
Yeah.
They also have the thigh leggings. So if you're wearing dresses a lot, all you got to do is pull up your dress and boom, it's right there on your thigh. I mean,
Nice.
they got a lot of very cool stuff at this shop. And the funny thing is, this lady right here was not very nice to us when we met her, but this product is very, very good. So I'm recommending it because it just works. But they have a lot of really cool stuff at this shop. It's called Dean, D-E-N-E Adams.
That's what's up. That's cool. But Miss Dean Adams, be nice to our friends when you meet them. Okay.
Yeah, she was not happy. I don't know what for, but she just was not in a good mood.
So the task of the gun, what you want the gun to achieve is best. If you want to do all, we could talk more about that. B, you got to consider the commonality and availability of support for the gun. Everything from holsters, ammunition, magazine. If you're going to be adding things like flashlights, red dots, and things like that. Capacity too. I would say that women shooters, youth shooters, people of diminished strength or whatever, because I guess like the Smith & Wesson EZ wasn't necessarily just made for women. It's made for people with diminished strength, right? So
it's because their dexterity is not great. So they're they make it easy to rack, and you can do it like one finger kind of thing.
They're weaklings, is what you're saying.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Old, having arthritis, whatever.
Is this? You want me to share this too?
What?
Yeah, this is the Leisure Carry belt by Eclipse Holsters. I think it's also a good option. I personally prefer the gun in a Kydex holster than in pieces of cloth.
So that's a holster behind that though, with that belt thing.
Yeah, so you can use any holster. You could use a fat tack holster.
Just
you take that and clip it onto your pants, onto your leggings, whatever you're wearing without a belt.
It's a segment of gun belt with two ulti clips on it.
Basically, it just stretches it along so that it has something to go to. If you're wearing sweatpants or gym or something. But honestly, that clip right there is a DCC monoblock clip. That belt clip right there will go straight onto your shorts. Believe me.
Yeah, Red Dawn and I were talking about that earlier.
I'm wearing one right now, and I'm wearing gym shorts.
Yeah, so Red Dawn carries the same thing. He just literally drops the
same thing with that same belt or same clip from Fat Tack.
Yeah,
it's just and it's not just because it's the name. Literally, we don't own the DCC monoblock. That's what we put on our holsters, but we don't own that. But I'm just telling you, with that clip, whether you get it on whoever's holster, it will go on your gym shorts.
Partly, and you do have to be aware. It's because it has the reverse.
Cool.
The
clip
thing
to
though
go
is
the other
is
way.
one of the reasons it works great with gym shorts versus like
You're back.
women's yoga pants, right? It
Mhm.
probably still would work with yoga pants, but I would recommend something that's hard because when we use it with our pants, it's usually the drawstring that it sits under. So
Yeah.
when you draw the gun, it's tied to that. But if you don't have a drawstring or elastic or anything around there for that thing to grip, I would
Yeah.
recommend one of those Vanish holsters. And then the same piece they make on belly bands that the holster goes into and it grabs a belt and you
Yeah.
slip the holster into it and wrap it around.
Arrowhead Tactical is good too. Spin 360. Brandon,
Arrowhead's
great to see you.
awesome.
So
Arrowhead
aside,
Tactical is phenomenal.
So they have kind of like a belt thing already built into their
Correct.
shorts and
Yeah.
pants and stuff, right? So it's not
and
like
they
Yeah.
have slots that are literally intended to either hold the gun or a holster or something like that. Also, you can get creative with it. You can get like if you're putting it in like the Vertex little apron style kind of belly band that goes below your, like we were talking about this Red Dawn Vertex VERTX. It's got like a belly band thing that's just like a thin strap, and then on the front it's kind of like an apron, and it's got like 4 or 5 pockets. You can actually, it's got Velcro on the inside of each pocket, so you can put like the 3M straps strips of, you know, the others, the sticky side of Velcro on your holster, spread it open, drop it in there, close it, push it closed, and you can literally draw in and out of a belly band in your waistband and have the retention of Kydex and still tie your sweatpants like that.
nice. That's cool.
But aside from, okay, so we got size and weight. Like, so what's whatever your task is, right? Size and weight that's a really important factor. So if you're considering maybe we should have a new gun, a person considering a brand new gun purchase,
You know,
come on here so we can ask them questions.
I agree with that. I think that would be really cool. I also agree
Yeah.
that we should do this on Rumble.
I agree. So we can actually
So
pick
we
up
can
guns and show them. And
Yeah.
yeah, I agree.
So maybe that the next show on Rumble should be that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but someone who doesn't own a gun by now in 2025 might not even know Rumble exists.
That's actually probably true. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
That's true.
What's a Bumble?
But you could be like, hey, you know somebody that's looking for something? Share this with your friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, the task of the gun, right? A, very important. B, the support of, you know, additional items. So whether it's, you know, holsters, you know, magazines, ammunition, caliber, whatever, sights, red dots, all that stuff, flashlights. What other considerations would you guys add to that?
I think you should 100% choose a compact gun. I think that you could get away with one of these micro 9s that are new, like a 48, a 43X. I think that if you're a new shooter and you pick too small of a gun, a compensator is probably good to have because, as Josh mentioned, you're going to add recoil to the feeling of the weapon when it's a small gun with even a 9mm. I think the new Smith & Wesson Bodyguard,
what's a compensator?
So a compensator, it has ports in either the slide, which I don't prefer, but I prefer it at the end of the barrel, and it directs gases upward, so it prevents some of the muzzle rise that you get, because on striker fire handguns, as the slide comes back, the barrel rises a little bit and the recoil system is designed to come up a little bit. So it basically just keeps the gun a little flatter while you're shooting, reduces felt recoil slightly, and also keeps you on target quicker. So if you're a newer shooter and you're learning how to find that timing of the gun going up and coming down, you're reducing that a little bit with a compensator. So you're able to focus more on shooting and trigger pull and less on the timing of the cycling of the gun.
I'm going to ask you this. Do you think that people starting out should learn how to do iron sights or have an optic?
Yes.
Irons.
What?
I think you should get an optic ready gun, start with irons, because if you got the bread to go and buy an optic and everything, then we'd have to go into like optic choices, which there's so many.
Most guns are optic ready now. for the most
Yeah.
part. For the most
Most
part.
guns. There are a lot
Um,
that aren't, but most guns are. I agree that you should, in my opinion, master sights before you
I've
go on to a
seen
red dot.
I agree with that, and I say the same thing. But I've heard from some other people that are just like, red dots are better, and you should just skip that and go straight to what makes you better.
And then if the red dot were to go down, then
That's all
their
you know.
backup sites are but also like
If you get
okay,
a solar
so
powered, I mean, not saying it could never go down, I guess.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean it anything could go down, right? Even the best,
Even
right?
iron
Like,
sights can fail.
iron sights can fail, but let's say for an example, if you don't put enough time into the platform to where you can literally shoot a target at a considerable distance without sights at all, if both of your sights fell off the gun completely and you still need to be able to put shots on target, that probably sounds absurd to somebody, right? Like if they don't
If you're a new
think
shooter
big
too,
deal.
you need to master 7 yards,
Yeah
5 yards, 7 yards, 10 yards.
10 yards,
Master
yeah.
that before
Mhm.
you start chucking down at 25 yards.
Also, if they get a red dot, like like we could sight in a red dot in 1 to 3 shots. But most people would literally have no idea how to
and
sight in
maybe
I'm gonna
maybe
say
they're
this.
they're pulling the gun and now they're sighting their red dot to the right because they're pulling the gun to the
yeah
left.
yeah
And
One of the
and
easiest
it's just a
ways
lot to it.
to get a red dot or anything like that close, like we talked about this before. I asked you about it. What you thought about like bore sights? I think that, like you said,
yeah
it gets you on paper, it gets you where it needs to go, but then you need
yeah
to refine that where it's at. But for the most part,
yeah
a bore sight is a great tool for somebody that really doesn't know how to zero or hasn't done it a lot. It'll get you where you need to go.
But I
yeah
think as a brand new first gun owner, to have to reconsider all of your clothing, to put a red dot on, have to buy a bore sight, have to do all these things. I think your best bet is like get the gun, then get a holster. Step 2.
mhm,
Then step 3. Actually, I even said this before, is step before the holster is get a flashlight, because the flashlight's going to change the holster. Then you're going to have to buy a second holster.
mhm.
So I would say get the gun and then think about a flashlight. And
Do you think
then
every single
get a
person should
holster.
always carry with a flashlight on
I
their
do.
pistol?
I-
On their pistol.
Especially if it's
I
also
do.
a home defense gun. So unless you sleep with a flashlight in your pocket, which I do, but maybe some people
I
don't.
carry a
do.
handheld light also, and that's the reason why
Yeah,
I
I do too.
personally don't carry one on a pistol. Now, a lot
Okay.
of people are like, yeah, but I've just always been more along the lines of if I have a light, then that might be something else I have to manipulate when I can just not have to
Wouldn't
think
it
about
be
it.
better to
The
have
only
two?
the only thing I think about it is it's the old school saying of it's better to have it and not need it than
Sure.
to need it and not have it.
I agree with you.
And also as a new shooter, to try to do the cop with the light, or have your ring like this, right? And
Yeah.
you're doing this and then you're gripping your gun. Like, it's just a lot of new training stuff. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, bro, just put the light on the gun.
The
Yeah, I
FBI.
Yeah, don't give him this one.
yeah.
He'll
Not my
shoot me if
name.
I have my light on me, so I have to put it way out
Yeah.
here.
Having a handheld is a great distraction device too. If
Yeah.
you're literally in a
Yeah,
gunfight,
take it and throw it, and
throw
then
it,
start.
turn it on, and then throw it somewhere else.
Have you
to
seen
where-
Flash
this?
bang.
Have you seen the flashlight do this thing? Like have it
Absolutely not.
next to your chin. Yeah. So a lot of people
I've
say
not.
if you do that,
Oh,
it's
on
more
your
stable.
chin. I thought you were
Yeah.
doing on your neck.
No,
I
no.
mean, so a
If
lot
it's
of
more
times
stable and it's where you're looking at or whatever.
for like close retention shooting, a lot of times people put their fist on their chest or their fist on their chin. So a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people train for like retention shooting. If they are shooting with a flashlight in their hand, putting it to their chin or their chest. I don't. So I think the handheld flashlight and the firearm mounted flashlight or weapon mounted light, WML for newer people, they're two different things for two different purposes, that could also be used for the same purpose, which probably sounds crazy to people, but I'm sure we're just confusing.
People are just like,
this
they're all
stuff.
over the place. What do we?
I know. But here's something to consider. There are times,
I
and
think it. Oh my bad. Go ahead. I had an
well,
idea about a
just
gun.
to kind of tie that last
Squirrel.
piece up, there are times where you need to shine a light at something that you don't need to point a gun at, and there are times that you need to point a gun at something and have a light on them with both of your hands on the gun. There are also
Correct.
times, I know people say, well, I'm only out and about during the day. It's highly likely that you could end up in and I'm not saying that you'll end up in this case. I'm just saying it's highly likely that even during the day you could end up in a very dark area,
You can
like
be indoors.
walking into a structure.
Do you know what the day turns into?
Night. Yeah. And do you
I'm
know if
always
you're
home
out?
before sundown. I ain't never been out at night.
I ain't never been
Yeah.
out past 6 o'clock.
Yeah, well, and that's the crazy thing is, like, let's say you had to walk into a structure, the sun is not inside of that structure.
Let's say you're in a
be
building in
very
the middle
dark.
of the day and there's a power outage.
Yeah, for sure. And
Now
you need to
there's
open up
no
a closet
lights.
or something, or
At least carry a handheld light. I mean, at least that's the
I-
least you should do.
Yeah.
I agree. And what if
I mean, I think it takes time, like, to get someone to be like, all right, so you're considering buying your first gun. Well, you also need a handheld light, a pocket knife,
but
a
that's
multi-tool.
Extra
remember
mag.
we were
Cat
talking about
tourniquet.
the percentages, right? Like the likelihood of needing a gun is slim, right? But if you're dealing in the game of super small percentages anyway, it's like, well, if I'm already going to carry a gun, if I'm going to buy a gun, then I may as well carry it. If I'm going to buy a gun and carry it, then I may as well carry a secondary magazine. If I'm going to buy a gun, carry it, and carry a secondary magazine, I may as well carry a knife.
Extra
If I'm
gun.
going to buy a gun and carry it and carry a magazine and carry a knife, then I may as well carry OC spray too. If I'm going to buy a gun and carry it and carry an extra magazine and carry a knife and carry OC spray,
I might as
I
well
should
carry
also
some
put a flashlight.
flashbangs.
That's what I'm saying. And then it starts
I might as well
building.
carry some smoke bombs, and I might as well carry a 33 round mag with me.
dude,
And I might as well,
Absolutely. I may
James
as well
Yeager
get
made-
pants that are custom made for it. You know, it's
James Yeager
always
made the biggest thing for like an extra gun that I've ever heard. And he said, basically, I look at it like this: I will never be out without an extra gun, because if I was to have a situation where I had to stick a family member or a child or something like that knows how to shoot but
Yep.
can't carry it in a closet and say, hey, stay here until I get back. If it's not me, shoot him. You know, that kind of thing. I can do that. So that's the reason why I carry a gun, is if somebody that knows how to shoot can't shoot or can't carry, basically, then I should be able to carry one for them to hand off or whatever. Or let's say
fat tack.
or let's say my wife or whatever doesn't feel comfortable carrying what she's wearing at that moment. I can hand her one if something happens, say, hey, stay here or whatever.
I do that every day.
Yeah.
But I mean, for noobs, it's they're buying one. Most
Let's
likely.
let's stick to what we're looking at here. We're looking
So
at
real quick, we made it through our first two guns. For sure, you should consider the Glock 19. You should consider an M&P 2.0. Some people naturally pick up the M&P, and the grip angle is something that's a deal breaker for a lot of people on the Glock, and they pick that up and they think the M&P points better. Also, all the M&Ps are coming with a better trigger nowadays. They may not know the difference in that, but they are. It also comes with iron sights versus the Glock that comes with plastic sights. So, like, the value that we all see in Glock, a brand new gun owner might not grasp that concept.
100%.
And the P10C is a very attractive gun, super low bore axis, very tiny slide.
P10C. Absolutely love those guns.
Very great gun. I think the VP9, the compact VP9 model, is number 4. Those are the first 4. They're great companies.
They're just not in the same price range.
Well, the P10C is pretty cheap.
Yeah, I'm saying the
VP9 is a little more expensive.
Well, if you want the optic ready night sight, you know, you could literally get a VP9 for like $599.
Yeah,
straight up.
Yeah, you can.
All right, just for a quick time call, it's 12:05. So let's not go beyond 12:30, so we can be in integrity with our time situation we discussed.
Would you guys agree that those are 4 companies and guns that you should at least consider?
Absolutely.
I agree. I think that, and I think there are even more. I think that for people that are listening to this, they should hear why, right? Because a lot of people that are coming into this, if they hear, Glock 19, Smith & Wesson M&P, CZ P10C or whatever it is, and what was the other one you had said?
HKVP9.
HKVP9. So all of them are under $1,000, right?
Yep.
Some of them are 500 to 800, depending on
Smith
extras
and
and all
Wesson's
that.
probably the cheapest.
I'm gonna go ahead and say
or CZ.
RXM.
might even be the cheapest.
I think RXM is a great option.
That would probably be my 5th choice in my top 5.
Yeah.
Is the RXM.
Especially with that Icky coming out. Woo, that Icarus Precision. I do want to hit Not My Name's comment real quick. Not My Name, channel member, great to see you. He says, in the Glock world, you can get an optics compatible slide later. By the time you're getting a dot on your gun, you probably have 3 other guns. I think that's an important thing to consider, is that, they don't have to they'll likely get an optics ready gun, right? But as a consumer, as a newer consumer, it's like, well, this Glock is, $625 or $649, and this Glock is, $499 or whatever. So why am I going to get this one? Well, this is for lasers and phasers and okay, I don't want anything to do with that. I'm just going to go with this one. And then later on, they're probably going to shoot something with a red dot sight and be like, oh, like that's why that's better. But mastering the standard sights first, I think, is super.
Yeah, but I think even teaching a new shooter, like, you don't even want them to experience that. You totally want them to learn the iron sight path first.
I agree,
100%.
Yeah,
I think that's just a shooting fundamentals. I mean, that's just all that is. I mean, you
I agree.
Master fundamentals, and after you work your way up from there.
Yep, I agree. So is the 5th one the RXM?
Yes, for me, it is.
I'll say that, and then I think the Echelon's a great pistol, man.
I think
I really do.
It is. It is. I don't have any time with the So this is why I haven't really pushed the Echelon, because you had the over insertion.
Yeah, that's the only thing I don't like about it.
And you want this compact to be able to take larger mags.
True.
Like, that is the one thing you want this gun to do, is for home defense. If it's off your body, you want it to be able to pop that larger 17 to 20 round mag in it, and that's at home.
So with that, I'll say not Echelon then.
That's what I was thinking.
Or at least be aware of the magazine over insertion issue.
But for
you could just buy a lot of 15 round mags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you could
think about it. People in California only can carry 10. So no matter how long your mag is.
Only if it's on their
soon to be
roster.
People in Oregon.
Which Echelon's
that
probably not.
sucks so much.
Sucks.
So let's say this.
Stand up, Oregonians. Stand up. I think the time. You know what it's
anyway.
I'd be grabbing
like freedom time.
You know what? When they tried that in Virginia, you know what we did? We got 30,000 people to go to the state capitol strapped in full kit. I'm just saying.
Try that in my state. I would, and there was people going, I would 1,000% be there.
Yeah. 50 cal Brandon shows his face again if it pops off. Okay, so let's consider this, because people are asking about other guns. I think we should discuss what other guns to consider, and know that we'll say, like, we got 15 minutes left.
Okay, so this is all the honorable.
I personally don't like any of the Hellcats, and that's just me. I don't like them because I can't shoot them very well. That's probably a me thing. I don't know, but that's just my opinion.
I can shoot the Pro well. I think the Pro Comp obviously shoots better. When those small guns, there's a reason that, like, they were launching comps quickly, because they knew. I felt even at one point like the Micro 9 was dying, because it's like, once you learn how to carry that every day, you're like, I just carry a Glock 19. What am I carrying this tiny thing for? And
same thing for the 43. Detective John Kimball, great to see you. Consider a CZ75, mostly the Shadow 2. CZ, we did touch on CZs.
Let's talk about an expensive gun.
Yeah,
this is the thing. A CZ75 and a Shadow 2 or Shadow or whatever is they're all hammer fired.
Yeah.
That's a no-go for me, man, especially for something I'm carrying.
Why is it a no-go?
Just because you have the ability to have something get in the way of the hammer actually hitting whatever you need to hit it.
Yeah. So why would, for a new shooter, why would that be an issue?
Because you don't know, I guess, what situations you're going to get into, whether you're going to drop that pistol or not, and if it could lodge something in between there.
Yeah. So what he's talking about is in a striker fire design, you have the firing pin and everything inside the gun that strikes the primer to set off the round inside the gun, right? It cannot be interrupted in many ways.
Don't get me wrong, great shooters,
Yeah.
awesome shooters, and I will
Shadow
say
2 is
probably
still
Shadow 2
one
is
of the best guns on the
amazing.
market.
I'm just not gonna carry it.
I wouldn't say the market, but they're excellent firearms. CZ75s are great, and standard CZ75s could actually be had for pretty, a reasonable price.
We think about
But
Canic, right? Specifically like Canic Meta stuff like that.
I mean, I would say no for me. I think that's not a. I don't think the Canics are a good option only because they're Turkish made. They're harder to get parts for if ever we don't have a great economy situation with Turkey. Right now, they're cheap. There was a time where getting their mags was very difficult for a while. Now that problem's not so much. But I would stick with the main brands for your first gun that you're trusting your entire family on. You've realized you need a weapon to protect you, a loved one, your home. And I think that you should definitely not choose a Canic as your one and only gun to protect your family with. Are they
I
bad
agree.
guns? No, but I just think that you should make a greater investment. That's kind of why I say about the Taurus is like, I think that if this is your one gun, and we talk about the buy ones, cry ones, and we all have learned the lesson, is your first one, you should listen to somebody about getting a quality weapon system that has a track record, that has a aftermarket support.
it can grow with you as
It can
you
grow
don't
with
have
you.
to sell it and get something
Ever
else.
sell it.
You can literally get, if you get something like a Glock or an M&P or whatever, you can build up, you can build out, you can add a flashlight, add an optic, you can
Yeah.
change, parts, you can, it's just, it makes a little bit more sense. For me personally, if it's that one gun, if it's that first purchase, I think that I think we lost Red Dawn for a sec. It seemed like his internet was glitching a little earlier. I thought it may have been mine, honestly. So I think if it's going to be like your one gun for that price point, there are a lot of better options, including not only the I don't know what that was. Including not only the like in that Canic price point and the Taurus price point, there are a lot of other options. That's all I'm saying, including used law enforcement trade-ins that were shot very little and
That's
carried
what
a
he
lot.
says in his next comment. Basically, imagine suggesting Taurus when police trade in Glocks are 325. I agree with you 100%.
Literally, that's what we said.
Yep.
100%. Absolutely get one of those.
He also said it's a lot better than a 320 that might unintentionally discharge while in your holster. So we're going to talk about what guns we do not recommend as well. But what other guns could you guys think of that would be decent? I don't have enough time behind like an Echelon or a Hellcat. I can't say yes on them, but I probably
I wouldn't
reduce on
recommend
them.
either. I wouldn't recommend anything from Springfield.
I mean, I remember very early on.
I agree with that. I agree with you.
Yeah, I don't think that's off at all. I mean, I remember early on getting a Keltec PF9, and that thing just barked, man. It was like hardcore, huge recoil.
Companies that not to consider.
The range says, "I love you guys, I
Keltec,
really do, but you need to take the
Canon.
blinders off." What does that mean? What blinders?
What was
The fact that we like Glock.
I didn't see it. I love you guys, I really do, but you need to take the blinders off, fellas. What blinders?
The funny thing is that, I asked my brother. My brother is prior service military, and I was just like, hey, when he was getting into like care and stuff like that, I asked him, I was like, what are you going to look for? You going to get a Glock or something? Because he knew I like Glocks, and he was like, no, I'm not getting a Glock. Oh. And I was just like, why not?
Because everyone gets Glock.
Because everybody has a Glock, and I hate them. And I'm just like, so you hate them because everybody else has them? That makes no sense whatsoever, man.
That's what Red Dawn did the same thing.
Yeah,
It means you all kneel at the Glock altar.
Bro, I went down there. Look, listen to what I had, right? I got gifted
That's
a Glock
funny.
27.
Are you mad because they work? Is that what you're mad about? I don't understand what you're mad about at Glocks.
I went
You're
through
mad
an
because Glocks work.
SD9, a
I guess
Hellcat,
so.
a XD, 320s. What came next? 320, I think, came next. P365 XL, Beretta APX, Springfield 45, XD 45. God, if I keep going, I had a Canic TP9 Elite Combat. I had, bro, I can't even. And the TP9 Elite Combat it's one of the baddest Canics, I think. And I went full circle and was like, dude, there's just no escaping the Glock. There is no the market, the quality, the reliability, the ease of how it operates. All these other guns, dude, like if you go in, you could probably find information, but like it's so easy to take care of your Glock, to put whatever you want on it.
He was saying we kneel at the Glock altar, okay, but that's fine. I'm not saying I disagree with you on that, okay. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm asking you
Glocks.
is that why is that a problem? Is there something about Glocks not working or being unreliable or being terrible pistols that we don't know about? Because if that's the case, I would love to hear it.
I think what it is.
I could go on. Go ahead. I just was gonna say there is a list this long, like Santa Claus's long list, that long, on why I would choose a Glock over a Canic. And I'm not saying that that Canics suck. They don't suck, but
I ain't mad at you. I'm just answering this question. I'm not mad at you. I'm just saying most people are saying that they don't like Glocks because everybody likes Glocks.
Because everybody has them.
And it could totally be you said that it could be the ergos suck and all that stuff. Like that's fine, 100%. That was actually a question I was going to ask.
Totally get it. Yeah.
Well,
hold on real quick. I just before you ask the question, I just want to throw this out there. I think what a lot of people see is that people see people just selecting Glock because of what they see and hear, see online or whatever, and then only selecting Glock, only getting Glock, only shooting Glock, only getting Glock accessories, and because they feel like, oh, Glock fanboy, Glocks are the only guns that work and everything else sucks. But dude, I got like 60 handguns. All right.
Dude, I carried an M&P. I just want you to know that. I carried
I got an M&P.
I just bought an M&P.
So, yeah, I got an M&P. I got Berettas. I got I
personally carried M&P currently. I currently carry an M&P.
Yeah, I think it's like a lot of people
there are ways around the ergos too for the Glock, like,
but that's the thing I was gonna say. So do you think that
why get a gun that works that you have to change?
Do you think the way the pistol do you think the way the pistol feels in your hand is important?
Yes. To a new gun person who hasn't shot, yes, 100%.
What about
it's like when they hand you the sword for the first time, right? Like it's like the balance, and it's just there's just a relationship there between
it fits in my hand pretty well.
I think I added fix the grip problem, in my opinion.
PSA fixed it, RXM fixed it.
Maybe not fix it. Maybe they all improved it in different ways.
Nomad Defense,
they did an excellent job.
Nomad, you can go get a Nomad lower Gen 5. You could run that thing phenomenal, right? Like I added the back straps. I took the back strap, chopped them in half. You can actually buy them without having to do the job yourself. Yeah. But for me, that helps me a lot with the Glock because it's less of that angle that it goes in and comes out, right? Where a lot of people want a straight back. So when I added that, it made the back straight and bam, done. Yeah. Like literally it comes with the Gen 5s. You can take a Dremel, cut it in half and put it on and you're good.
Yeah.
So
let's the Glock gay hump, they said, but that's exactly it. Like my Glocks don't have that. So like
the way they're they're made like that because of the way you're supposed to hold a pistol. I mean, that's just what they're made for. That's the way they're made so that when your thumbs are forward, that's what you're pointing at. You're pointing something at your thumb or with your thumbs, and that's why you're able to shoot like
there is a massive amount of people that if Glock didn't have that, then the market probably it might have been over years ago. No one would even been able to make any other guns if they didn't have that Glock on.
But honestly, in my opinion, the RXM, dude, I would carry that thing
Yeah,
with a Gen 3 slide on it. No problem.
I'd
Yeah.
carry it with the RXM slide on it.
Yeah, that's one of the things I want to push.
I ain't mad at the Ruger thing. What do you think about it?
Well, I mean,
The
one of
Ruger
the things
slide.
I want to do with the Ruger RXM is push the factory slide barrel and upper, and just with all the factory components on there, and kind of see how far it can go. I just happen to also be it's still in the process of doing that with the Shadow Systems, and doing that with which I already got like 2,300 rounds through the Shadow Systems with no no failures, no issues. So I'm probably just going to say that's good to go. No cleaning, no maintenance, no nothing, no oil. It's been good to go. And honestly, I think I may actually send that one to Fat Rooster to do up instead of the
Are you gonna get
Glocks.
the Icky first?
I don't know. It depends if Icarus is willing to send send. Oh no, I'm not saying.
I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it.
Yeah, I'm not saying for him for Fat Rooster to do the RXM.
That's
I'm
definitely
saying,
the next project is an RXM with the Icarus.
I'm saying for Fat
Dude.
Rooster to do the Shadow Systems instead of the. But
I can-
the RXM, I
what
want
is
to
it?
push
What's
it to
the
the
Shadow
limit.
Systems? It's like a
It's
Glock
basically
knockoff.
a Gen 545.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean it's
Just
in some cases they improved some things, but by the time they released it, it was like, whoa, they did all this stuff, and then Glock released the Gen 5 with the MOS, and it just made everything
I'm just kidding. The
less.
Shadow Systems are
you
very
know.
nice.
Shadow Systems are cool and everything. I don't have a problem with them. I just don't see
Yeah,
the
but
point in getting them when you can get a Gen 5 or whatever.
yeah,
Bro,
yeah,
when
not-
when now
their
with the
timing was bad.
RXM too, it's like wait. You want me
Yeah,
to pay this?
Yeah, that's like
$3.99.
literally $500 more.
Yeah, dude. The only reason I got the Shadow Systems XR920, which they are great, okay, is because there was a crazy deal for $499. Now, in my opinion, that's how much that gun should be, right? Like these $1,000 Shadow Systems, I think, are a little ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree.
Would I pay $1,000 for a Shadow Systems? No. Now, when I shot the DR920p, the ported 34 size on a 17 frame, oh my goodness, I was literally like dropping them in the same hole over and over and over. So I don't know, is shooting like that worth $1,000? I don't know, maybe my $230 police trade in MMP I could do that with, right? So is it worth it? I don't think it is personally, but so much of this is preference, right? So I think a lot of times, unfortunately, like we can give information, we can transfer knowledge and tell people, hey, we wasted all this time, energy, and money on this stuff, and here's the hack to getting it. If a Glock works for you, awesome. If an M&P works for you, awesome. If a X, Y, and Z, CZ, P10, or whatever, do that, try that. That's fine, but do what feels good, do what works well, do what has a fair amount of aftermarket support. Also get something in a caliber that like it. I think 9mm is king right now. That's just I think that's just the
Ballistics
truth.
have came a long way on 9mm.
9mm is your only option unless you want to go 380. And I don't think 380 is a great
Not
home
suggest that
defense
for
gun.
anybody.
I don't think it's a good home defense gun. I think for some
Completely
women,
underpowered.
Yeah, it's
yeah, I mean sometimes 9mm can be as well, even with advancements in ammo. 9mm can you can
Subs,
hit
baby.
someone with quite a few 9mm before they go down.
dude. I
But-
watch 9mm crack a target at 100 yards. I pulled out my 380 and aimed like 2 feet above it, and at 40 to 50 yards, they're just dropping in the ground.
I feel
It's
you.
insane to see. I never would. I
I
just
don't
thought
think there's
those things.
anyone in the world that wants to get mag dumped with 380. Like it's not
No, even 22 short. I don't think.
no.
See, Sean
But
Zimmerman says
if you
5'7".
could shoot that 380 46% better than you can shoot the 9mm, I'd even with the underpowered round, if you're on target more, I would want you to have that in your hand, because when it comes to having this horrible situation that you might need a gun for, you want to be as accurate as possible as well.
Yeah.
So it's a consideration for some people. I don't think any man should consider a 380. I think though, if it's a woman's first handgun and she wants a Smith & Wesson bodyguard and that's what she wants, or she wants the P365 380, I think that's probably a good shooter. I think some of these other guns, they may just want that, and I still would rather them get that than not get a gun.
So it depends
That's-
though, because like in earlier stages of my life when I had to wear dress clothes and a suit jacket every single day, a 380 was the only thing I could pocket carry without, being made. So like that was my thing. And I've sold pocket 380s to more dudes than I have women. And a lot of people that come in that are like, yeah, I want to get her a little 380. I'm like, dude, do you know what those
Most
things
people are
feel
like,
to
I
shoot?
want to get her a revolver.
Yeah,
those are the
5-shot
worst.
revolver. Which honestly,
My mother-in-law carries a revolver. When we went to go shoot it, I'm like,
Good
just
luck
give
hitting
it-
some with that lady.
five
Yeah, I'm
shot
like,
38s. You can get good with them, but you got to get good with other stuff.
you're gonna hit
before
everybody
you-
but who you want to hit.
Yeah. Dude, yeah.
Dude, I could shoot. I could slap 10-inch gongs 25
You
yards
can.
with
You've been
double
shooting
action.
guns for 20
I was
years.
gonna say, yeah, you can. Can you imagine somebody that's just going in there by their first pistol?
gun,
Yeah.
and it's a,
357
lady?
Magnum 5-shot.
Yeah.
The only way they're going to
You
be
can't hit
able
them with 5
to,
rounds. You don't need nothing else.
yeah. 3 seconds, 3 shots at 3 yards and 3 whatever. I still think that you got to get good
Can't get them with
stuff
5.
I definitely wouldn't recommend the Ruger. If I was going to push anyone to 380, the two guns I'd push is, if that's what they really want, is the P365 and 380, or
new Smith &
the
Wesson
new
380,
Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0.
Yeah.
Those would be the only two that I'd say don't even consider.
The
a Glock
LCP 380 ain't too bad.
42.
The LCP,
The LCP Max,
LCP 2. And the Max. The Max is good too.
I'd go with the Max. If you were gonna have to go with the Ruger LCP, I'd Max only.
Bro,
Yeah.
the LCP, the OG original first LCP is the only 380 ACP that I have, that I own, and I own several, that literally broke during normal courses of fire. Like
Really?
LCP stands for little crappy pistol. I would not purchase it. Now the LCP
I
2,
wouldn't recommend it.
maybe the LCP Max, those
The
could
Max
be
is pretty
different, could
nice.
be better.
Max is pretty. The Max
11
9's actually
rounds?
pretty good.
Yeah. But
11
Vanessa
rounds.
Kitty, I don't want to gloss over her great advice. She said, go rent firearms
yeah.
and find the combo that works before you purchase. Excellent advice. Very, very, very good.
For sure.
Good points. Okay, so sorry. So yeah, so the 5 guns that you would recommend outside of the first 5 that we mentioned.
Outside of
me?
the first one that we mentioned?
Yeah, in addition to the first 5 that we mentioned, what are other honorable mentions that I think Red Dawn was saying? The
PDP for sure.
Walther
PDP?
PDP. Okay.
Sure. That's a good one to look at.
I would say Shadow Systems, PDP. I don't know how to think about it. I mean, I don't mess with a lot of them, to be honest with you. But there's
What-
reasons for it.
Red Dawn,
Yeah,
you said we mentioned the dagger.
Dagger. Yeah, okay. If we're talking
Dagger.
about like like budget friendly stuff, or we're
mean, it
talking
could
about budget
be-
friendly stuff too. You're talking about
it-
everything all together.
Just anything, yeah, anything that
I would say PSA is definitely a go-to.
I mean, if we're
for a lot
saying
of people.
anything, I mean the Alien. Go ahead, get you that
Yeah.
new
yeah,
Alien.
there you go. Yeah, an Atlas, Atlas 2011. $8,000.
Yep.
Yeah,
But I think anything under $1,000, like standard pistols that most
Dude,
gun stores will have, small, like
that
what I'm
Kiger,
thinking.
dude, that was one of the Traveler. So CCP10 was one of the top 5
Top
that we
five.
top
mentioned.
5, yeah.
Yep.
Kiger is really good. The PSA micro dagger is not terrible.
Oof.
I
a
heard
little
there
bit-
were a bunch of issues.
I had a couple
Didn't you have a
problems with
lot of
mine.
issues?
I didn't have a lot of issues. I had a issue, and it seemed to work itself out. So I think it
Okay.
might have been just like a break-in thing or something like that. But me personally, I believe you should not have to have a break-in period. You should be able to take it out of the box, and it should work.
Yeah, some
Um,
guns though. I think every gun has a break-in period. Some just actually
does.
still work
I don't think
during
it should.
it. Yeah, every spring, every
I
piece
had
of
that same
metal.
argument with Small Josh back when he was on the channel, and I was like,
It-
"It's so stupid. People shouldn't have a break-in." And he was like, but they do. And I was like, I know, but they shouldn't. They should just
Even
work. They
Glocks.
should just work.
Glocks have a
Yes,
break-in
that's
period.
why-
as
Well,
well.
if
Yeah.
we tell them to shoot 500 rounds through it before they put it on the shelf, then A, we can get them for used prices, and B, the break-in period's over.
Yeah, right. I mean, but there's a whole other thing about that is 500 rounds, and so that's another thing. The
I
BCA
think you
Grizzly
get a
for
little bit of break-in.
$295, bro. What? That is now. I don't have rounds through
I
it
haven't never
yet.
shot one.
I haven't. So that's something. It's a Grok Crone.
Yo, Modern Frontiersman's loving his. Prepared Citizens is enjoying his.
The funny thing is, we're talking
Yeah.
about like what other ones we recommend, and all the ones that we recommend are Glock clones. You know
Is
why?
the
Because
Kiger-
everybody is cloning a Glock.
Because the
why?
design
Because the
works.
Glock is the best
is
design.
the, is
Yeah.
the Kiger the Anderson one?
The Kiger is the Anderson Grok. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want a cheap Glock clone, the Kiger, the Bear Creek, the Dagger, all three of those are good options. The Kiger's probably the nicest looking one.
They have a Lone Wolf one now. There's a bunch of them.
Oh, the Lone Wolf. Yeah, that I got one of the Lone Wolf ones right over there, and that I personally, I actually had a Timberwolf frame like when they first came out. Man, I don't know, like 6, 7, 8 years ago, something like that, and that thing was solid, completely just flat backstrap, huge
Ross
beaver tail.
Martin.
Dude, yeah,
I've
Ross
heard good
Barton was
things
a good
about
one.
those Ross Barton. Man, I have not
Dude,
shot one, but
yeah.
I've heard good things.
The turkeys put like 3,500 rounds through one. All right,
But
it's
does it take Glock mags?
1231. No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
But
I gotta
but
get sliding.
let's do this. Guns that you would not recommend on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
High point.
Big
6320.
P320.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That too, but also high point.
I mean, at least high points don't kill you in your sleep.
True.
But yeah, I mean,
Sig P320, I'd say don't consider a Canic your first gun. I'd say don't consider a Taurus your first gun unless you don't
I don't
have
know.
any
I don't
other
have.
choice.
I've never had problems with Tauruses. The ones I've had, I've never had a problem with them.
I just think for that
I
price range,
don't think you'd have a problem with a Canic or a Taurus, but like we said, you can get a used Glock.
True.
For-
That you have to take that
Yeah.
consideration with everything. You can get.
you guys need to
used
stop
police
kneeling
trade-in.
at the altar of Glock. Okay. I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
I mean,
I'm joking.
tell every other company out there to stop worshiping at their altar and stop making Glocks because
Stop
literally,
stop
I
making
wouldn't
stuff
be
using their
surprised if
design.
Sig just
Jaeger said
cancels
it
the
best.
320 and makes a Glock clone. Sig,
Jaeger
we're
said it
waiting
best,
on you to
okay?
drop the Glock clone.
Every Glock should be 19. Every Glock should be 9mm. I mean, every pistol should be a Glock. But the thing is that every company out there makes a Glock pistol now. If you look at the way they're made on the internals, they're made exactly the same, exactly the
company.
same design as a
The
Glock.
the Stoger pistols are all straight up Gen 3 knockoffs.
100%. They
Yeah,
just don't take
yeah.
Glock mags.
Yeah. So what is the price range of a Taurus? Like $300, something like that?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
350.
I mean, you can get them cheaper than that. Sometimes you can get a G2C and 3C for like $275. Under
Yeah.
$200.
The SVD
Used
9,
pawn shop, $198. Like
you
you
know,
can
I
get-
see.
if you had to pick STV, dude, that's nice. I like that one, and it's $299 right now.
Mhm.
The new one, the
Yeah.
2.0 version. I have it right
Yeah.
over here somewhere.
Does it come
yeah.
with the flat trigger too?
The Platy.
Yes,
Platy
it does.
Ooh.
Comes with their brand new trigger, and it's awesome, dude. The only bad thing about that is you have to have the proprietary magazines that are for the SD9. They do not take M&P magazines.
Sky.
That's all right.
Wonderful trigger. Yeah.
Blech.
Don't.
That's
Especially-
definitely one I would not recommend.
Dude,
I agree too, though. If it's your first gun, I wouldn't buy a used firearm.
what?
I wouldn't.
Why?
Tripping.
Nah,
wouldn't.
I would.
You don't know what someone's done to it. If you only have one weapon and one weapon only, just get yourself a brand new optics ready compact gun from an extremely reliable company.
If you're only
And-
buying one gun and you don't care what it is, would you not rather it just be an AR?
No. No
Well,
way.
if we're talking hand,
If you're only buying one gun,
Pistol always.
oh,
ARP,
Yeah,
I'm
like
just
what?
kidding.
A fold AR?
Fold AR, dude.
Just an
I'll
AR
say
period.
this:
It's going to take 5.56, 223.
if it is
No.
indeed a good, reputable handgun, and it is,
ARX Delta?
up to snuff, then it's not going to matter, what they did to it, unless they. I mean, if you see, a doctor footprint, optic wood screwed into an
Never did that.
RMR, I'm just kidding. Love you,
I gotta
bud.
bounce.
All right, yeah, we're gonna wrap
Yeah.
this up. Thank you for coming on. Go follow Black Diamond Guns Gear, Josh, Fat Tack, buy holsters from them, Blue Alpha Belts, Prime Armor, all the stuff on fattack.com.
See you guys.
Appreciate
Thanks
you.
for having me on.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
And follow Red Dawn Readiness everywhere on all platforms.
Do that. And don't buy.
Oh, I thought you were ending it right there.
Yeah, no, that was all him. Don't buy SIG 320s because I just don't think the risk is worth the reward. Some people, millions of people have bought them, fired them, used them, carried them, and have not had one singular problem. And over 100 people have had theirs reportedly discharge on its own free will because they are the AI handgun. So for me personally, I would say the risk isn't worth it, even though millions of people haven't, had that experience. So for me, the SIG 320s that I got, I just put them in the safe and I just don't use them or run them. Does that mean that all 320s are bad and terrible? No, for me personally, I made the personal decision to not, take that risk, and I carry other guns.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, I don't always carry a Glock. I'm just saying.
And even when he's not carrying a Glock, he's carrying a Glock.
A Glock.
alternative.
Yeah. But I mean, even then, I also carry other stuff too.
Yeah.
Dude, I carry my Beretta. I carry my older Beretta. I got a couple of revolvers. I got
Tell
other
the
Glocks.
truth, bro. You don't be going out of the house without no Glock on you.
I mean, if I don't have a Glock in my waistband, I got a Glock in the bag, But I'm just saying, it's for everyone out there. So much of this is preference, right? So even though where for me it's like I prefer Glock handguns, I own a bunch of other platforms, but for carry, so much of the decisions that we make are based off of stuff like, well, what's law enforcement, military, civilians, like what are other people, carrying? What's the most common ammunition? What's the most common magazine? And what are we most likely to run into out in the field if the shenanigans hit the fanigans? Like if the world is ending, right? Then what handgun would we want to run? In that case, that's why some of these decisions are made. But when people are walking into a gun store and they're making their first decision to purchase their first handgun, they're not thinking of like, well, if the world collapses, what kind of mag? You know what I mean? It's not typically in that line of thinking. But if it is dope, you were way ahead of me, at that stage. So yeah, that's it.
Yep.
Anything else you want to end on before we wrap up here?
If you're a new gun owner out there and you still find it hard to make a decision after our 2-hour podcast, then feel free to message us on Instagram, either me or DLD After Dark,
Yep.
and we would love to help you make that purchase. I think it's a great decision that everyone should have a gun, a handgun, a rifle, a shotgun, maybe a couple other things, but I think everyone should have the right to defend themselves, the right to carry as much amount of ammo as they want to. And the Second Amendment is a beautiful thing that created the greatest society that's ever lived on Earth.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's all I have for the conversation. Jesus Christ is King and Lord. And Striker Fire polymer 15 round capacity compact size firearm, reputable company.
Our king as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Man, it's so tough because there's some other things that I would put out as considerations that would start a whole other conversations. So I agree. If you guys have questions or still can't make a decision, even though we
run
talked
through
about
3 of them. Don't
What
add
do you
any
mean?
context. What are the 3 other considerations?
Oh man. I would say you got to consider magazine capacity outside of what is flush fitting in your gun. Something like the 43X and 48, like are your magazines OEM to your firearm? I love the 43X and I love the 48, but it kind of sucks that Glock isn't making the 15, right? You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. Also, like for these other guys that for these new guys that are grabbing a gun for the first time or whatever, if they're putting on like if they're getting aftermarket like sights or something like that, dude, most stores carry I guess the third thing I'd say this. Prepare for a much heftier investment when you don't have the stuff and the tools and the capabilities and the skills, because for someone to put like night sights on their gun, so let's say they go to the store, let's say they get an MMP or a Glock or whatever, right? And then they go to the store and they're like, I heard about night sights, I want night sights on this gun. Okay, most stores hold like Trijicon HDs, then joints are like 149, and then you're going to pay a shop 40-50 bucks to put them on when
Go
I
to
can
Angry Bear Arms or Amazon.
straight up. They're Trijicon HDs are excellent.
Get yourself
Ameriglows
some
are
True
good.
Glows.
Yeah.
Get yourself some Ameriglows.
See, the True Glows are really bulky and they're big posts.
Not all of them.
I like the more like thin, precise blades. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, like the Angry Bear, but I mean the Angry Bear, you also, which I wish they would do this with our sites that we love, is put make them 2-dot sights, just
In the
a
rear, yeah.
center dot in the middle, top
Yeah.
dot, 2-dot sights.
Yeah. I will get, and I totally agree. I will give a shout out to Angry Bear Arms, because Angry Bear Arms makes most of their sites available for like under 50 bucks.
Dude,
And they are Hackathorn style, blacked out serrated rear sights with tritium serrated front sights. And they're just excellent sights for like sub 50 bucks, sub 60 bucks. And you'd be surprised with all those other companies out there who's making their sites.
Angry Bear.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out to them. They've been awesome. And it looks like they got booted off of Instagram or something.
What?
So yeah, bro, their Instagram is literally gone. I went to find them to send them a message, and it said
maybe they just banned us
because they were sending all these sites to us. Yeah, I probably have 10 sets of their sites on different.
I only
blocks.
have 2, but I would keep buying that set of sites. I absolutely love them. Angry Bear Arms, shout out to you,
dude. And they got the best.
I got my chat. My chat's up. Let's
open it up.
Yeah, they just banned you. They just blocked you.
Yeah, see now, because it was a group chat and everyone else couldn't see them either.
I mean,
good try though.
Shout out to Angry Bear Arms. I'll hit you up.
Oh, that's weird. Maybe it was an old account.
Maybe it was like a sock account or something you accidentally clicked.
It could have been. That's interesting. Well, I'll have to look it up.
You can use code DARK, I believe, over at Angry Bear Arms and get a little schmutting off.
I don't know if
still there.
I don't know if they did. No, I don't know if they ever made code dark.
Oh,
maybe you could try code dark. You can also use code dark. Yeah, Angry Bear Arms. You can also use code dark at Goonbeam. Get some of the best weapon lights in existence and best handhelds in existence. Crazy bright, stupid bright. I mean, literally, like these things are insane.
Let me ask you a question. If you did buy a Glock 19, you were a brand new gun owner. I love the Goonbeam. What light would you recommend on that platform? Glock 19, any Glock 19
if it wasn't
size gun,
Goonbeam?
If it wasn't a Goonbeam.
What do you intend to do with the gun?
Concealed carry it and home defense. Same reasons we've been using all night.
So, I mean, if you want a do-all, I would really say for a Glock 19 TLR 7 Alpha. If you want to push it to, a step beyond that, the TLR 7 HLX is an excellent light. And currently that's what was on the Shadow Systems. I just swapped. I literally took the HLX off and put my Goonbeam on the Shadow Systems.
Overall, the Goonbeam is better than both of those. No doubt about it. The size of it for someone new to carrying a gun might be a challenge, but I mean, I'm planning on upgrading to trying to carry my goon beam every day, but I have to get another holster for that.
Yeah. I mean, part of the reason that I swapped them was because holster compatibility. I took the TLR7 HLX off because the thickness is the same thickness of the gun, right? But the larger weapon lights are about twice the thickness of a gun. I just happen to have a holster from FatTac that's set up for that. But yeah, I mean, in most cases, I'm carrying I prefer to carry the ones that are the same thickness as the gun. It just kind of makes things a little easier, lighter, and fit better in your waistband. Other things to consider: do not get Blackhawk Serpa holsters. Do not get Phobos holsters. Do not get Uncle Mike's holsters. Do not fall for the stupid tricks of people trying to take advantage of the newbies. And you know what? Maybe we could do another one based on tricks of the trade, right? Like firearm industry stuff that people kind of get roped into, snake oil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The buy ones, cry ones thing is real, man. Like if
For
you
sure.
see a lot of people, this is why I said I like a massive feature about FatTac is like they're the only one doing what they're doing. So if
Yeah.
that works for you, you're gonna love that thing. If you
Yeah.
need to carry low in the pants, it's so light. It's a phenomenal holster. There's other companies who are, setting themselves apart from the market where a lot of companies out there are all just copying each other. And when you see people trying to sell things that they're copying from other people already that everyone's selling and they're the ones trying to sell it for the highest price, that's kind of a red flag.
Yeah.
But
DeSantis
yeah,
holsters?
we could definitely get into all that. I don't never use the DeSantis.
Honestly, it depends on the holster because I've
It also
had
depends on the person.
yeah, it's so preference driven, right?
So
Like
preference driven.
if we
Like
just say Safari Lane holsters are it, that's it. Well, no, they're not. I mean,
Yeah.
in some cases they are, but even their IWB line, right? Like the one that they did with Travis
I would love
Haley.
to try it.
Yeah, like so for you like carrying above the waist, right? I like carrying below the waist. So for
Yeah.
me, that would not be a good option. But for you,
Yeah.
the gray looking Safari Land
Yep.
that they did with Haley Strategic would be awesome.
Incognito or something.
Yeah, the Incog. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Incog X was like the one they did for the 10th year anniversary. I mean, it looks pretty dope. But DeSantis holsters, like I've had good luck with some of them, and some of them are just trash.
The holster that got me that I bought that I'm like since the day I got it in my hands, I was like, well, it does not work for me. Is a crossbreed, like with the leather back and the half Kydex shell on the front, like that just does not work for me. It's
I just
massive,
never got into them.
Big thing that I could not stand it. I tried to reconfigure it to try it outside the waistband, but
you gotta wait months for it too.
It was not for me. Crossbreed. I think they make other style holsters, and I'd love to give those a try. I heard they make a great concealed carry belt. Crossbreed, reach out to me if you would love for me to try another product. But yeah, the one with the leather back and the half shell and the way that the leather it curved outward instead of inwards towards your body frame for me. I couldn't do it. But I mean,
Red Dawn,
for somebody else, they may be like, oh, I love those. I've been carrying those.
I know some people that do.
Yeah, I mean,
by the way,
totally
Red Dawn,
preference.
it's 2025. You can't say inwards. So with
did I say an N-word?
Well, no, you said it curved inwards, and just bad joke.
It curved inwards.
I got to get rid of this thing. It's curving inwards every time I go out. Sorry, my bad. Anyway, yeah, I mean, Lightning Scott, this is a funny point. Come on, man. How are they ever going to end up with milk crates filled with holsters? I mean, this is like the truth, right? Like the Rubbermaid bins that I got filled up with holsters of like the holster graveyard, some of those holsters I go back to and I'm like, you know what? For this application with this outfit and this gun belt and this, I can pull it off, right? But also back in the day, I was appendix carrying stuff with non-appendix specific holsters. And like, you want to talk about discomfort, that's it right there. But still to date, one of the best holsters that I can use for everything from my J frame to, you know, crappy 380s to Glocks to P80s to whatever is this terrible little $20 holster that I got back in the day when I first started carrying. And it works. I'm gonna have to grab it. And I've shown it on stream before. It's this crappy little pancake holster. It's like about this big, and you can do it IWB, OWB, or you know, it's got the clip, it's got the belt holes, and I just only carry it.
For
You know,
revolvers, those are
IWB.
those are good.
It's good too because it shoves down like
They
low.
make leather ones just like it still to this day.
Yeah, I've seen them. Matter of fact, I saw one at Walmart, but it just didn't carry the same. The clip moved around a lot, so it wasn't as good. But this, man, I guarantee they're not in business. But if they are, the best $20 I've ever spent in all of my firearms purchases ever, hands down. Which that's probably not even true either. But anyway, yeah. And then
Wow.
and then don't buy SIG 320s. Guys, all of this is possible because of two companies, DLD Hardware and Definition Knives. Go check out the products at Definition Knives. We got a whole lot of stuff launching. Y'all, woo, just wait until you see the new stuff coming out. It's gonna blow you away. We got a whole bunch of products that are
Not like a SIG 320.
yeah, it won't blow you away like a SIG 320, but
Did I burn my blade?
Heyo. But yeah,
Yeah, like
there's a
this,
lot
dude.
of products available. Well, there's 5 products available currently, but a lot of products that are on their way right now. We're re-ing up and we're doing the resupply, and I still have not changed it away from free shipping. So it still technically is giving free shipping. Oh shucks, why did I do that? Oh, and then here's the DK1. Bro, this thing is so gorgeous, man. The DK1 is a looker. She's a
It
looker.
is. She's a
D2 tool
beauty.
steel, super smooth. But the newbies, man, with the denim G10 with
That's
the back
fire.
with the little
I like that one.
whatchamacallit that
very nice.
blocks the hardware, made out of G10 too. Bro, these things, a lot of people asked for flippers that are liner locks. This is a very unique blade. Lots of cool stuff coming, so just keep a lookout. And we even have it dropping in orange too. So yeah, I'm pumped about that. And it's a really unique blade. It's like a Tonto drop point. It's kind of cool. But we do crazy
Definition
stuff
knife.
like
You're
that.
gonna love it.
You're gonna love Definition 9. Anyway, guys, let's go ahead and wrap up. I appreciate you coming on. Make sure you follow Josh at Black Diamond Guns Gear. Make sure you follow Red Dawn Readiness, and also support the companies that we mentioned throughout this live stream. Like, dude, Goonbeam is one of the best flashlight companies out there. Extreme performance in pricing that's cheaper than Streamlight, which is one of the cheapest on the on the market. And then also Gideon Optics. There's Aegis gun cleaning, right? Like there's so many great companies out there. Stifler makes great stuff. Marconi makes great stuff. We gotta take care of our people in our little clique. All right. And then also, man, launch 2 is gonna be so dope. I can't wait. Sorry, let me stop. And then also, was there one other thing I was gonna mention? You know what? Flying Rich is gonna hate this, but I'm gonna put this out there. Definition knives are already being carried in one store. They're being carried at MD Arsenal. But I'm gonna let you guys know one other thing, that I secured the second account for Definition Knives, where you will be able to see Definition Knives on display and for sale at the largest gun club in the state of Virginia, maybe even on the East Coast. It's a 100,000 square foot facility. XCal is going to be displaying and selling Definition knives. And it was so dope to have the owner be like, whoa, like this, like, I am impressed. The packaging, the product, it feels good. Like this just feels awesome. And his favorite was the Boyd, which is the one that I named in honor of my father. And that was the one I actually gifted one to him. And there may be one coming out similar to the Boyd with Launch 2 that y'all don't even know. Look how deep that pocket clip is, man. The deepest pocket clip in existence. Dude, it's so dope. Lots of dope stuff coming from the future, man. So XCal carrying definition knives is just like crazy. I could never even imagine something like that happening. So shout out to them. XCal is awesome. And yeah, guys, in the end, so much of this, what we're talking about is preference, right? But the reason I wanted to do stuff that was even a question that that newbies would ask, right? I put newbie night in there, is because honestly, we need to bring newbies over here, right? To where they come into environments like ours and communities like ours, to where they hear the kind of things that we talk about, where they, basically, get into prepping, where they get into, living Christ-like, where they get into having a healthy awareness of the government and, limited government and endless freedom. And if we can bring them into our community, then we radicalize them one at a time. I'm just kidding. But seriously, it's I think healthy to continue to grow our community of people. We need definition machetes and tomahawks. They're on the way. Thank you, Eric Stockbridge. Everyone that's had the Boyd has been blown away. So I love that. Anyway, anything else you want to say before we end this?
If you are a new gun owner, please follow the 5 firearm safety rules.
There's 5?
Isn't there 5? 4?
There's 4.
Yeah, but I have a 5th one.
Don't be stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And also, really, the 5th rule is like, you can break one of the 4 rules, but if you break more than one of those rules, most likely something bad is going to happen.
Yeah, highly likely. And if you or someone you know has had a discharge of some sort, raise your hand. So be very careful. It doesn't matter how much time you get behind something. Not only can all mechanical things fail, but all humans can make mistakes. So be aware. Robert Ham, I'm actually going to see them at Goals, because Definition Knives is also going to have a booth at the GOA Leadership Summit in August. So we'll be out there, and I'm going to approach them and talk to them while I'm out there. Yeah, and for those new folks that are in here, your government hates you and wants you dead. So why not prepare for the worst?
Number 5, no P320s.
Yes, number 5, no P320s. I had one ND. Yep, I've had one, and I've talked about that. And I may have even I may know about more than one ND. Anyway, guys, look, as we wrap this up, I want you all to consider that regardless of the current changes in the political world, I think it's important that all of us remember that we are still in a culture war, and it's important that you are a culture warrior. Okay. And as a culture warrior, look, we're door holders, we're kind people, we're considerate, we lose our ego and our pride, and we contribute to others, even if we disagree with them or don't like them. That's who we are. And I think it's important that all of us keep that door holder mentality. However, being men, it's important that we are leaders, spiritual leaders of our family, that we're leaders within our family, leaders in our community, leaders within our church. And the way that we become the best leaders that we can is by holding ourselves to higher standards and expectations. Some of the rules that I like to share with you guys at the end of every show are: rule number 1 is to be kind. It's so important that we're kind in everything that we do. That brief interaction that you have with somebody else could have a massive impact on their life. So be kind. Rule number 2 is to live a life of care, compassion, contribution, give to others. When you bless others, you become blessed, because a hand that's open to give is open to receive. And rule number 3, my favorite, because we know the only way for us to defeat evil is with good men skilled in violence. Make sure that you're becoming as highly skilled in violence as you possibly can be, and be safe, be dangerous, and keep that thing on you. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're out of here. Remember, Christ is king. Christ is Lord. Christ died for you. Christ has been trying to get a hold of you. He's been texting you. He texts me all the time. Red Dawn, he texts you all the time too, right?
All the time.
He is trying to get a hold of you. He just wants a response from you. That's all. All right. So remember that, and remember that
And he told us to tell you this.
he did actually. Yeah, it's in the text
The
messages.
text.
Yeah, it's in the text. Look, if somebody you knew died for you, what level of allegiance would you have to them? You know what I mean? Man, it's so much.
Yep.
Anyway, I'll let y'all go. I'm just saying, Christ is king. That's all.
And only you can prevent communism.
That's true. And forest fires? What? And
a lot of other things.
Yeah, mostly just communism. Yeah, we believe that all bad guys should be well ventilated. And I love y'all, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.
Yep.
For the people that asked about the Cash App, bing, bang, boom, bop, bam. It's up there. So thank you so much, y'all. Take it easy. Peace. And we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.
Oh, I get it. You're retarded. You don't understand a word I say.